defensive backs. And Cody, all right, let's see who's going to get the ball.
Well, Miller has won the toss, but they have deferred. So the option now rests with Veterans Memorial. And again, that's Johnny Hip, the referee, who's sorting it all out. So he turns them around. And Veterans Memorial will receive. They will defend the north goal off to our left side. Captains shake hands, and that's about the last friendly thing that's going to happen tonight. This is going to be a very intense game. And Alan, in doing our preparation this week and talking with both head coaches and members of both teams, what struck me is each team is completely convinced that it's going to win.
They are very confident on both sides of the fences. And what Coach Justin Evans told us that they create mismatches on offense that nobody can catch up to. And then, of course, Veterans Memorial, they pride themselves on defense. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins this football game. I do know we're not going to lack in highlights tonight.
We got some speed on the field, both teams tonight. There are going to be some points scored. There's no question about that. Special teams could be a big deal as well. So as we mentioned, the Eagles will get the ball first tonight. They are defending the south goal off to our left. And as we await the arrival on the field of the Miller special team, kickoff duties will be handled by John Cervantes. As for the kickoff return people for Veterans Memorial, that's Frank Jones, who is the leading rusher in the district, along with their quarterback, David Soto, who really, we saw him play last year, Alan. He's one of the most versatile guys you've ever seen. He can throw it, he can run it, he can catch it on gadget plays.
You're right.
He is a very versatile player.
He's awesome. He can do it all, and he's a smart kid as well. And he got an early start being a freshman there at Veterans Memorial, so he's worked his way up, and they're in good hands tonight. They really are.
All right. So they're just about to tee it up. We are so happy that you are with us tonight. This is the first of several Thursday night games we're going to be doing. And this is an opportunity to plug this one. We're going to be at Cabinets a week from tonight for a game that could be pivotal in the south zone of District 35A. That'll be between these very same Veterans Memorial Eagles and Flower Bluff, which is playing tonight. By the way, Flower Bluff 3-0 on the year, and they're taking on 3-0 Alice tonight. So we'll try to keep you posted on that one as well.
That's going to be an awesome game as well. So let's see what happens here on an absolute perfect night for football.
As Marvin Gaye once said, let's get it on. We're awaiting the whistle. There it is. And we are now playing the great game. Kick coming down at the 11-yard line. That's Soto going to return it right up the middle. Got a crease, got more than a crease. This is a big return all the way out past the 45-yard line to midfield and probably just into Miller territory. That is a tremendous return by David Soto. Let's set the Veterans Memorial starting offense for you, starting with a very experienced offensive line. 4 of the 5 starters are seniors. Right tackle Ryan Hernandez is the lone junior. We do have a penalty here. It's a face mask, and it is against the kicking team, so what was already a great return is going to be even bigger. So the backs and receivers, this is a full house. Right now, quarterback David Soto is one of the top-rated passers in District 35A. Running back Frank Jones leads the league in rushing, and junior Seth Solis is the #1 ranked receiver, so they're pretty good. We'll set the Miller defense for you in just a moment. But after the penalty and the long kickoff return, the line of scrimmage, the 34-yard line, so the Eagles already playing on a short field against this 4-3 defense. Deep drop by Soto, sets a screen left side, but it is immediately snuffed out. Nice defensive play there. The receiver was Frank Jones, but the Miller defense could see that one coming, and that was a very, very nice play by Khalik Nichols, a cornerback, and one of the captains for the Miller Buccaneers. So despite the fact it was a completed pass, it was actually a loss of about 2 yards. So it's 2nd and 12 with the ball back at the 37-yard line, just underway here at Buccaneer Stadium with 11:10 remaining here in quarter number 1. This time the Eagles will set a balanced formation. They run from the spread, as does just about everybody. They've got 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Frank Jones, the district's leading rusher, is in the backfield alongside Soto, but apparently there was something that Cody Semper didn't like there. And, Alan, that's really a concern. You know, you're early in the ball game. You usually have these first few plays scripted, and to have a mistake or a misunderstanding there, that's got to be a very frustrating thing for Cody Semper as he has to take an early timeout.
Yeah, it really is. That's something you certainly don't want to see. You know, we talked about both teams liking to run the ball, throw the ball. Each team wants to run at least 90 plays tonight. We're talking a lot of football plays tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see just how quickly they get up to the line to throw the ball each time.
While we have a moment, we want to set the defensive starters for the Miller Buccaneers. They play a 4-3 scheme, and that front seven linebackers, Khalid Nichols and Justice Watson, can really, really run. And on the backside, as we take a look at their secondary, we'll keep an eye on number 4, cornerback Kaylon Gu. So after the completion for a loss, it's 2nd and 12, almost 13, back at the 37-yard line, and they'll stay with that formation. 2 receivers left and right, and Jones the back alongside the quarterback Soto. Play fake, throw, left side, complete, and the receiver winds his way down inside the 30, down to about the 29. That's Kobe Piper. And one thing we know about this veterans offense is they are very deep in receivers.
They really are. They can roll guys in and out all night long, and they enjoy so much success. They've not been challenged at all yet by any defensive team. So let's see what Miller got up their sleeves here tonight.
Sets up a key 3rd down, 3rd and about 5, with the ball inside the 30 at the 29. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. That's the left side. Soto, the quarterback. It's a zone read. They'll give it off to Frank Jones, and Jones is going to be close to first down yardage. He needed to get down to about the 24. We'll see where they're spotted. And it's going to be a little short. They're going to spot it at the 25. But the Eagles quickly to the line of scrimmage on 4th down. They knew what they wanted to do, and what they wanted to do was get that first down, and their quarterback Soto ensured that they would do that. Really a nice piece of strategy there on the part of the Eagles, because they got right to the line of scrimmage and snapped the ball before the Miller defense was totally set.
Yeah, the quick hurry up. Soto knew exactly where the opening was, and he got it. So that sets them up 1st and 10 now on the 18-yard line.
This time they'll set 3 receivers, triplets, to the near side. Soto from the gun. Again, the zone read. They'll give it off to Jones. He takes it right up the middle. He has a very strong lower body. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage, or shortly after he reached the line of scrimmage, but he powered down to about the 15-yard line before he was knocked down by Justin Garcia. Clock running with 9:21 remaining in what is so far a scoreless first quarter, but the Eagles have taken the opening kickoff, and they have done big things with it, following a big kickoff return by their quarterback, David Soto. Soto calling some signals to his receivers on the left side of the formation. That's the far side, the wide side of the field. It's going to be a jet sweep, fake, keep. Soto inside the 10, down around the 8-yard line, and is very close to a 1st and goal for the Veterans Memorial Eagles. And the Eagles will quickly substitute some players in. They're going high tempo right now. So it is going to be a 1st and goal. They pick up the stick, so it's 1st and goal down around the 7-yard line. Soto this time from the pistol. He'll give it off to Jones. 2-1. That's easy money. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Veterans Memorial Eagles. 7 yards on the carry by Frank Jones, and that was an extremely well-orchestrated drive to start this game, Alex.
Yeah, ball control ate up a lot of clock, and Frank Jones does, well, what Frank Jones does. He just runs over people. Let's take another look at it here from our end zone cam, and it's very simple run up the middle and great blocking. And, they brought in some beef. You remember, you talked about the substitution package.
Well, guess what? They're going for 2. Power I formation. They'll keep it on the ground. Ball carrier very close. He didn't make it, but one thing, we'll talk about this after the break, but my goodness, the Veterans Memorial Eagles coming out with a hyper-aggressive game plan. 8:35 remaining in quarter number 1, and the Eagles take the opening kickoff and drive it for a touchdown. They lead it 6-0. Back in a moment. You're watching Texas high school football, coming to you from KRIS Communications.
Hometown HEB.
Welcome back to Buck Stadium. This quarter is brought to you by Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Corpus Christi. So an impressive opening touchdown drive as the Veterans Memorial Eagles take the opening kickoff and drive it in there. And look at that power running by the leading rusher in the district, Frank Jones. A little bit surprised they went for two, though, Alan?
I'm very surprised. You harped on the fact they've got the best kicker in the district. They chose not to use him, but it was a design play to rush in there and try to surprise the Miller Buccaneers defense. And it almost worked. Now let's see if it comes back to haunt them. Now they're going to be chasing points, don't you think?
Yeah, you would think. Now, there was a gamble involved there, but again, I think that Cody Semper, the fine head coach for the Eagles, is trying to send a message. They have been just off the charts aggressive. You know, they did a couple of things like getting substitutes on the field very quickly. They went for it on 4th and 1 and converted on kind of a hurry-up, quick snap play. So now we'll get a look in just a moment at the Miller Buccaneer offense for the first time tonight as they'll get the ball trailing 6-0. Here's the kickoff by Romario Perez. It's going to be taken to the 2-yard line and returned on the near side. This is a huge return. He's got one man to beat, jukes him. Now there's some pursuit coming. Long return down to the 35-yard line, and that is Ralph Rodriguez on the long return for the Miller Buccaneers. How do you answer when you're down 6-0, Allen? Kind of like this.
Yeah, we talk about speed, and you're right, Ralph Rodriguez. He's one of those sophomores that Coach Evans talked about, and the kicker is the only guy that's in the way, and he's going to get him, run him out of bounds right here. Great start for the Bucs.
Okay, the line of scrimmage, the 39-yard line in plus territory. We'll set the Miller starting offense for you in just a moment after this first down play. Their quarterback, Josh Vasquez, who's thrown 9 touchdown passes this year, but he's also thrown 8 picks. On first down, looks near side, got a completion, and on the catch, that is Riley Hearn on the catch for the Miller Buccaneers, and that's worthwhile yardage as he gets it down to the 32-yard line. Real quickly, we'll set this starting offense for you. Up front, it's a line that's anchored by center Matthew Hernandez. It's a very young line. They got a freshman and 2 sophomores starting. Got a penalty on the play as well. As for the guys who handled the ball, quarterback Josh Vasquez has already thrown 9 touchdown passes this year. I mentioned he threw that game winner last week against Moody. And the Bucs have a tremendous trio of receivers in Bubba Lloyd, Laz Franco, and Marlon Crockett. We'll check out the starting D for Veterans Memorial momentarily. So we got a brief stoppage on the field while we sort out the penalty yardage. There was a completion on first down that carried down inside the 35-yard line. But they'll take the penalty, so it'll be 1st and 5. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Vasquez, the quarterback, looks right side and doesn't quite get it to his intended receiver. He was looking for his running back coming out of the backfield, Michael Smith, but the pass falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 5. So defensively for the Eagles, they play a base 4-2-5 scheme. Senior tackle Delton Demerson's a good one. Linebacker Cedric Evans leads his team with 37 total tackles. We'll set the secondary for you after this second down play. Give inside, worthwhile yardage, probably first down yardage, and that is Michael Smith, this time carrying the ball from scrimmage. So the Buccaneers end up with their initial first down of the evening. They move the chains, and they come quickly to the line of scrimmage for this first down play. From the gun, Vasquez, the right-hander, deep ball down the right sideline. Got a man, that's a touchdown. That is a touchdown to Bubba Lloyd, Jr., 6'4", a basketball player, and that was a beautifully thrown ball.
That looked like very similar to the same play that they scored the game-winning double overtime touchdown. Here it is again, and you will see Vasquez, absolute perfect pass, and Bubba Lloyd's just too tall. He go after it, but that ball was caught in stride, and now the missed extra point play is huge. Let's see if Miller can make theirs.
Yes, it does. This is John Cervantes on for the PAT that would give, if it's good, the Buccaneers a 1-point lead, but it's not. It's blocked. And remember, that's a live ball. It's going to be returned. Ball carrier still on his feet. So we've seen a couple of touchdowns, but we've also seen a couple of one unsuccessful 2-point attempt and now a missed PAT. So after this score, we're going to take a brief timeout Our score with 7:17 remaining in quarter number one. We're all knotted up at 6. Back in a moment. You're watching Texas high school football coming to you from KRIS Communications.
He's going to kick it in the right spot. Let's go.
We would ask your cooperation if you would not stand along the way during the ball game for the people that are sitting behind you.
Make sure we rip the proper way.
All right, welcome back to Buck Stadium, where the Buccaneers have just tied the game. Josh Vasquez, long pass, Bubba Lloyd, touchdown. They missed the extra point. Well, actually, it was blocked. So right now, with 17-17 left to play in the first period, we are deadlocked, 6-6. So both teams have had the ball, and both teams have scored touchdowns.
And both teams were set up in good field position after a couple of great kickoff returns. They were both playing on a short field. Boy, this is more than lived up to its early billing. This is quite a competitive football game. And the one thing you see, Miller, they embrace the role as underdogs right now, but the Buccaneers are not backing off at all.
Well, remember what Coach Evans told us in practice. He said that they have mismatches, and that looked like a mismatch. Did a little bit there in the end zone on that pass play?
Well, here's the thing. That wide receiver, Bubba Lloyd, he's going to create a lot of mismatches. He is a tremendous athlete. And I was heartened to hear him say at practice the other day, Alan. He told you that, football's now my main sport.
There you go.
I loved it. I loved it.
Well, he's a senior. He's tired of losing. They haven't won they've only won 3 games in 4 years. And, this is their breakout year. This is their time to make a statement.
This is a good one. So each team with an early touchdown. Buccaneers set to kick it off. Ball teed up at the 40-yard line. But we got a flag and a stoppage. Oh, my goodness. That will drive a coach crazy. Delay of game on a kickoff. Coach Evans not going to like that.
How do you do that? That's just almost impossible, isn't it?
I don't know that I've ever seen that before, to tell you the truth.
Let's go back to the return last time. How surprised were you that they put their quarterback out there?
Not at all. If you'll recall, they did that last year as well. He's a very fine return man, and he is a complete football player. As we mentioned, he's about as versatile as any player in District 35A, and he's just a junior. Here's the kickoff. Low squibber. Soto's going to field this one back at about his 16-yard line. This is going to be a decent return as well, and again, they'll have good field position as he cracks up to the 35-yard line. So, Alan, the Eagles just in their second year of varsity football, this is the first time they've had any seniors on the roster.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing if you think about it. They have slowly but surely grown up, and they're bigger, and they're faster, and we weren't sure if this was going to be their year yet. Had they grown up to a point now where they can compete with the Flower Bluffs and the Cal Allens? But I think they're here. I think they're here to stay.
Coach Semper, as we mentioned, a very dynamic and really organized young coach. And I've got great things to say about Coach Evans as well. We'll get to that in a minute. On first down, Eagles running from the pistol. Buccaneers show blitz. They do blitz, but the running back, Frank Jones, runs right past that blitz and gets across the 40-yard line out to about the 42. So once again, Alan, it's really easy to call plays when you're looking at 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 5.
Yeah, he had a big opening hole there, and that'll get you going any day.
From the pistol, Jones again up the middle, then cuts it back to the left. And this time a really good job of converging by the Buccaneer defense, led by Joseph Garcia. That's going to set up a third down play. It's going to be 3rd and a long 3 with the ball out at about just shy of the 44-yard line. Again from the pistol. Bootleg. Soto rolls right, throws incomplete, throws it into bracket coverage, and that was an outstanding job by the Buccaneers secondary. I mean, one of the guys that made a play there, that was Zamori Nichols was in on the play as well. He's a very fine football player, and we're going to see our first punt of the evening as the Buccaneer defense comes up stout. So punting for the Eagles will be Seth Solis, who is the leading receiver in the district, but he, again, is a very versatile athlete. He's standing back at his 30-yard line. Punt return man is going to be Laz Franco for the Buccaneers. He's got his heels back at his 20-yard line. Punts away, relatively low. It's going to hit the ground. Takes an Eagles roll, going to get inside the 20 and go out of bounds at the 18-yard line. And with that, we'll keep it right here. So, Alan, we see somebody get their first defensive stop of the evening.
Yeah, and let's remember also that Vet's defense is averaging, 7 points a game. Miller's already got 6. So it will be interesting to see if Miller can move the ball again on this very stout veterans defense.
You know, I was talking about Justin Evans, the fine head coach of the Miller Buccaneers just a moment ago. He said something at practice yesterday that really moved me. I'll tell you what that was. He is an excellent leader of young men. We'll get to that after this first down play with the ball out at the 19-yard line following that 41-yard punt by Solis. Zone read give right up the middle this time. That's Michael Smith, the senior running back on the carry for the Buccaneers. You know, we were talking with Justin Evans, and he's just got that it factor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and he was talking about how much he loves his players, but he said love is spelled Time, meaning if you really love them, you spend time with them. That's the biggest gift you could give them. Second down, Vasquez throws right side. That guy's got a live arm.
Really
a
does.
Simple route, but it's going to clear for the first down after the 32-yard line, and Bubba Lloyd, the guy that caught that long touchdown pass earlier, gets his second reception on the evening.
Bubba Lloyd calls this the biggest football game he's ever played in. He wanted to play his best game ever, and so far he's doing an excellent job. And look at him fight for the first down.
Did you know Vasquez had that kind of quick release?
Yeah,
that thing was out of there.
And he's the number 7th ranked kid in his senior class, so he's a smart kid as well.
Okay, from the spread, we got 4 receivers, 2 left, 2 right, but they'll keep it on the ground. Again, Michael Smith on the carry. On this first down carry, it's actually kind of modest yardage, a yard, maybe 2, setting up a 2nd and 8, and the clock running with 5:13 remaining in this first quarter, and the score tied at 6 in this battle of unbeatens. Again, balanced formation. Vasquez looks right side, going deep again. Guess who he's looking for? And this time the ball a little underthrown and broken up nicely by one of the defensive backs for, that's Gavin Wilkinson. Looks like he made the play for the Eagles there. And, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah, and look at him. He may have injured his ankle on this play, somewhere in his lower leg. We're talking about Bubba Lloyd. He is being checked out by the trainer.
We'll check on that later. Maybe we can get a sideline report from Nikhila Pradier. So it's 3rd and long now. Vasquez with a drop, going to throw deep down the right side. Ball up for grabs, jump ball situation, and it falls incomplete. It was intended for Laz Franco, who was the leading returning receiver for the Buccaneers from a year ago, but the pass falls incomplete, and the Buccaneers are going to have to punt it away.
Laz is the speed guy. He's not as tall, obviously, as Bubba Lloyd, but he's their speed guy. They can get down the sideline. So they are going to get a 3 and out here, and they're going to have to punt back to Veterans Memorial.
All right. So the punter standing back at about the 17, 18-yard line.
Lloyd being attended to on the sidelines, Paul, as you can see. It looks like it is something about his lower leg.
Again, if we have an update, we will let you know. Punt is away cleanly, but this is not a good punt at all. Minimal yardage on the punt as it goes out of bounds in Buccaneer territory. So once again, the Eagle offense is going to have excellent field position. That was a really short punt of only 12 yards.
Oh, okay.
On first down from the Buccaneer 36-yard line. Again, from the pistol. Eagles will keep it on the ground. Running back cuts it back off the right side. Kobe Piper on the carry. And let's go down to the sideline and this report from Nikila Pradier.
Paul and Allen, obviously there's a lot of concern here on the Miller sideline about Bubba Lloyd. We saw him limp off the field, really hop off even. He did, in talking with the trainer, say that his ankle was bothering him, but he kind of waved to the crowd and said he was okay. At this point, they're kind of retaping his ankle, and we'll see how soon he gets back on the field. Guys, send it back to you.
Nikila, thanks a lot. We'll hope for the best there. 2nd and 9 now, again from the pistol, play fake, but they'll throw a quick hitch out to the right side. It's complete to Josh Gomez, but an excellent job of coming up by cornerback KRIS Saldana. He makes a nice play setting up a 3rd and long. Here in just a minute, I'm going to brag on our excellent morning news team at KRIS 6, but right now the order of business is this 3rd down play with the nose of the ball right at the 35-yard line in a ball game that's tied at 6. And now under 3:40 to play in this opening quarter. Buccaneers showing blitz. Here they come. Soto going to throw deep down the middle, looking for Seth Solis, but the ball is underthrown and intercepted. But we may have a flag on the play. There was some movement before the snap, so let's see what happens here. That was Darryl Harvey on what appeared for the moment to be an interception, but maybe, I don't know. I'm guessing, Alan, was the ball not spotted for play?
It may not have been. Let's see.
No. Okay, it is going to be an offside. So essentially, it was a free play, and Soto may have known that, and it may be why he just threw it up there, knowing he had 5 yards in the bag. Okay, so it was 3rd and 9. It's going to be now obviously about 3rd and 4. That changes things. And what looked like a questionable throw by Soto actually was a pretty heady play.
It really was. Smart kid.
Nose of the ball at the 30. It's 3rd and 4. Jet sweep fake, but Soto will keep it up the middle. Now, he is going to be shy of the first down by about 2 yards, but remember, the Eagles have already gone for it on 4th down once before and converted. So we'll see the decision made by Cody Semper. He didn't hesitate.
No, not at all.
He didn't hesitate, despite the fact he has a field goal kicker who has made it from 50 earlier this year. But he's going for it on 4th and 2, and the nose of the ball just inside the 28-yard line. Again from the pistol. Maybe trying to draw him offside. Play clock at 7 right now. They do snap it. Looks like a busted play. He was looking for a zone read. The back wasn't there. He's going to be stopped shy of the sticks. And the Buccaneer defense is held, and they're going to get the ball back. And that did look to be, Allen, a busted play.
It appeared to be. You're right. That was a huge, huge stop by the Miller Buccaneers as they try to regain that momentum they had gotten when they tied it. There's the replay, and got about 5 Buccaneers on Soto, and they drag him down.
Hey, start your day with Mike, Jennifer, and McClovio. Get all your local news, your weekend weather forecast, traffic updates, and breaking news as it happens tomorrow starting at 5 a.m. on KRIS 6 News Sunrise. 6-6 ball game. Glad you're aboard. What a night. Ball at the 28-yard line. We're tied at 6. This is the first down play. It's a give up the middle, and that's Michael Smith again on the carry on what looked to be a zone read. Wouldn't be surprised, Allen, to see Vasquez start to pull that out next time. Marcel Davis now into the ball game at running back for the Buccaneers.
It's the big 1-2 punch between Smith and Davis. Davis had a long touchdown run a week ago, a little bit bigger version of Mike Smith.
2 receivers left and right. The snap is rolling around on the ground, and Vasquez finally just has to fall on it. They retain possession, but that's going to be a huge loss all the way back to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, let's take another look at this. You can see the snap, and a little bit low, still could have been caught, and he did the right thing, just jump on it, and now it's 3rd and 20.
Interesting to see this play call. I think they may be kind of conservative here. You don't have a lot of 3rd and 20 plays in your repertoire. This could be a pick down. So they need to be a little bit cautious. They got 3 receivers to the top of the screen, the right side of the formation. Vasquez will throw that direction. It's a flutter ball. It is almost intercepted. Receiver did a nice job of breaking up that possible interception. That was Davis Horn, the defensive back for the Eagles, who almost came up with the pick.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Let's see just how far he underthrew the football. And he had a guy open actually behind coverage, but he just couldn't get it to him. And luckily for the Miller Buccaneers, it's dropped, and now they've got to punt the ball.
Not a lot of room for the Buccaneer punter standing back inside his 5-yard line. So one way or the other, barring a turnover, the Eagles once again are going to get excellent field position with which to start their next drive. Here's the snap. Punter gets it away cleanly. This is a better one as compared to the last punt.
Whoa!
This is a loose ball. That hit the kick
goodness.
return man. That is a loose ball, and it looks as if the Buccaneers may have recovered. They certainly think they have. We'll wait for confirmation, but yeah. So the return man tries to storm up and catch the ball, hit him square in the shoulder pads. Ball comes loose, caroms out, and the Buccaneers have the football.
Gage Castillo is the gentleman who comes up with the loose pigskin. Kind of a line drive punt away, and then just the punt return kind of slips on it. And
you think I jinxed him because I said barring a turnover,
I think
the Eagles would have good field position. But instead, the Buccaneers with decent field position at the 35-yard line, although we do have a flag before the snap.
His hand wasn't on the ball.
Dead ball, false start, offense number 75.
That's a killer. Now it's going to be 1st and 15 from their own 30-yard line.
Senior left guard Emmanuel Vela just moved a little too quickly. So as Allen indicated, now 1st and 15 with the ball back at the 30-yard line on the right hash mark. From the pistol, Vasquez gives it off. That's Marcel Davis, the outstanding sophomore running back. But, you can tell as this program at Veterans grows up, they're getting more and more physical. They spend a lot of time in the weight room.
They really have. And by the way, Bubba Lloyd is back on offense for the Miller Buccaneers.
It's good to see. So almost nothing on that carry. So it's 2nd and essentially 15. Now with under a minute remaining in this first quarter that's knotted at 6. Vasquez looks right side, throws a tight bullet down the right side. It was intended for Laz Franco, but there was excellent coverage there. So the incomplete pass will stop the clock with 48 seconds remaining here at quarter number 1 at Buccaneer Stadium.
Have you noticed every pass play so far for Miller has been testing that left side of the Veterans secondary?
Absolutely picked up on that.
Yeah.
They've also thrown it in the middle zone
Yes.
a little bit, but they've stayed away from the offensive left side so far. So it's 3rd and 15 from the 30. Vasquez again will throw right side, and this one's up for grabs, intended for Franco, and just a great job of converging by the Eagles secondary led by strong safety Noah Murray. That was a nice job.
Let's take another look at it here. And again, we talked about it. They're going to that left side of the Veterans secondary, and there's 3 guys there waiting on it, and no one can come down with it.
All right, so the Buccaneers going to have to punt it away. Punter standing inside the 15. Last time they punted from there, it resulted in a turnover, and the Buccaneers got the ball back. A little bit of a high snap and a little bit of a slow kick. That was almost blocked, but it's going to take a nice roll for the Buccaneers, at least into Eagle territory, and it's going to be killed at the 43-yard line. 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and we will keep it right here, Allen. So your impressions so far?
Well, my impression is that both teams got out to a hot start. Now the defenses are starting to take over, and that's where we stand, 6-6 with 33 seconds left in the first period.
We're delighted that you are with us tonight. This broadcast brought to you by Auto Nation. This is the first of several Thursday night games we'll be bringing to you from KRIS Communications. Of course, we're on the CW tonight. First down, Eagles from their 43-yard line. 33 seconds to go, quarter number 1 from the pistol. Here's Soto, has plenty of time, surveys the field, wait for a crossing route. This is a big pick. This could be a pick 6. 20, 15, still on his feet, got one man to beat, still going for the goal line all the way down to the 4-yard line. That is Zamori Nichols, the sophomore safety on the INT for the Buccaneers. And I almost think, Alan, that Soto was victimized by the amount of time he had. He had so much time that he stared that receiver down.
Wow, that's a huge play. Let's take another look at it. And you're right. Even in slow-mo, looks like he's got about an hour to survey the field. When he does, Nichols, Mr. Johnny on the spot, and he shows off with athleticism. Looks like he's actually going to score, but check out this huge hit, right? Coming up about right here. Now let's see if they can punch it in.
From inside the 5-yard line, trying to break this 6-6 tie. Vasquez gives it off. Running play coming right side. And this time the Eagle defense penetrates, gets across the line of scrimmage, and this is going to result in a loss. That was Xavier Hernandez on the carry for the Buccaneers. And they drop a yard, maybe a yard and a half, back to about the 6-yard line. And with that, time has expired in this very exciting first quarter. Our score after the first 12 minutes, the Veterans Memorial Eagles 6, the Miller Buccaneers 6. Back with the second quarter in a moment. You're watching Texas High School football, brought to you by KRIS Communications.
From KRIS Custom Meat to great low prices on snacks and drinks, HEB has just what you need to fire up the game and get your grill on. When it comes to Friday night football and tailgating, no store does more than your hometown HEB, a proud supporter of high school football.
Yeah, it's too much. Welcome back to Buck Stadium. We're tied at 6. Here's how we got here. Frank Jones on the opening drive bangs in for a 6-0 lead. And the Miller Buccaneers would answer. Bubba Lloyd, nice catch here. They got their PAT blocked. And that tied it up at 6-all. And just moments ago, that is Amari Nichols with the big INT. Brings it all the way down to the 6-yard line. And that's where we have the ball. It is second down at the 6. Paul Alexander, take it away.
Alan, thank you. This quarter is brought to you by CCRV, keeping RVs affordable and fun. So we've got a 2nd and goal with the ball at the 6-yard line and resting on the near hash mark. That's the right hash. Quarter number 2 in a game that is currently knotted up at 6-6. Vasquez, the quarterback for the Miller Buccaneers. And that's Michael Smith, running back standing to his left. Fade route, left side of the end zone, intended for Bubba Lloyd, but this time broken up. But once again, Alan, I am impressed with the speed with which Vasquez releases the football.
Let's take another look at it here. As you said, is just go up and get it. And nice play by the defensive back there.
John Longoria, the senior cornerback. That is quite a job, quite a matchup, being matched up one-on-one with Lloyd. So now it's 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. And again, from the pistol, Vasquez on the zone read maybe not the right read this time. Gave it up to Michael Smith, who was absolutely stuffed. So it's going to be 4th and goal right now. A great play by Cedric Evans, the inside linebacker for the Eagles.
Well, one of the advantages, I think, if Veterans has an advantage in this football game is on, I think probably Vets has a little better running game than what Miller has. They haven't been able to run the ball at all yet tonight, and it showed right there.
They didn't even think about the field goal. They're going for it on 4th and goal with the ball back at the 10-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Now they motion to the right side. Again, they clear it out. They throw the fade. Incomplete. He was trying one of those back shoulder fades. Ball actually pretty well thrown, but Lloyd unable to make the adjustment, and that's got to be so frustrating for the Miller Buccaneers because they come away with 0 points. And again, in man coverage, a fine job by senior cornerback John Longoria.
Yeah, Longoria is going to be on Lloyd all night long. Look like Lloyd slipped on the play. So a little surprising, Paul, that Miller wouldn't try the go-ahead field goal.
Any number of things could come into play there. You don't know exactly what prompted that decision. Frank Jones, the running back for the Eagles, with 11:11 remaining before halftime. Jones on the first down carry. That was worthwhile. Gets about 4 out to about the 14-yard line. Prior to that time, Miller right now, the Miller Buccaneers have -2 yards rushing. There have been considerably more success on the ground for the Veterans Memorial Eagles. That was a pretty good play there, out to about the 15-yard line. All right, so on 2nd down, here's the snap. The give, once again, to Frank Jones. And folks in the truck, if you can hear me, just a little television housekeeping here. We just lost all audio with respect to Nat sound, etc. So if we could make an effort to get that back up, that would be appreciated. So we can see it right now. We just can't hear it. That's okay. It's going to be a 3rd down play, 3rd and about 2, with the ball resting just outside the Eagles' 18-yard line. We're tied at 6, under 10 minutes to go before halftime. Soto, zone read, keeps left side, turns the corner, has the first down, gets bounced out of bounds. That's Kalen Gu, the fine senior cornerback and one of the Buccaneer captains, who knocks him out of bounds, but not before he picks up that first down.
Yeah, Soto showing his athleticism. We've harped about this for the last couple of years. And again, that's another advantage that maybe Veterans has over Miller tonight. Their quarterback can also run with the football and do it effectively, and he did it right there.
All right, so the ball squarely at the 35-yard line. Clock stops on the out-of-bounds play, so it'll start on the snap. Play fake. Soto looking middle, got a man wide open and just overthrows his leading receiver, Seth Solis, who was taking that one to the post, and that was a missed opportunity, Alan.
Yeah, that could have been an interception by the Miller Buccaneers. They just didn't take advantage of it. But let's take another look at it. Good protection here. Throws the ball across the middle. A little too much mustard on it. Incomplete, and that sets up now 2nd and 10 from their 35.
So after each team had a little initial offensive success, the pace of this game, at least the scoring pace, is slowed down a little bit. It's 6-6 with 9:46 remaining in the second. On the carry, that's Frank Jones again. And Jones came into this game, by the way, as the district's leading rusher. He came in with 586 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. And by the way, in all 4 of his previous games this year, Alan, he's had at least 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, he's been a terror for opposing defenses. So what do you do now? 3rd and 9. Do you put it up in the air? Do you give it to Jones?
No, they're going to throw it. And they should. They've got a good receiving core. They've got a good offensive line. They have a very, very smart quarterback. And they've got some options here. Let's see if Miller elects to blitz. They're showing blitz. Soto sees that. So the chess game, the cat and mouse game, is on now. 3 receivers to the near side.
Now they call timeout.
And with that, you know what? That's a good job and a victory for the Miller defense, because they force the Eagles to take a timeout. So we'll take a quick break as well. Back in just a moment. 6-6 ball game at Buccaneer Stadium. We thank you for watching Texas high school football, coming to you from KRIS Communications.
Double A, and bail out of that shit. Watch out for the jump right now. Show it, bail out of it. Got me? Press one. Here, order. Push got to do.
Put the ball in the right place.
Welcome back to Buck Stadium. We're tied 6-6, 8 minutes and 59 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Alan Harwell with Paul Alexander on a gorgeous night for football here. Yeah, both teams scored on their opening drives, but here we go. Big third down and 9 play here for Vets.
Okay, so the Eagles were forced to take a timeout. So they get a chance to huddle with their offensive coordinator, who is Jerry Prieto. Officials mark the ball ready for play, and away we go, and the Buccaneers showing blitz again. Play fake. Soto has time, looks left side, has a man complete, close to first down yardage, and has it out across the 45-yard line to the 46. And on the catch, that's Matthew Kroll for the Eagles.
Yeah, take another look at it. He's wide open here. It's a good call by Semper. Makes it, and we've got an injury here for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's one of their defensive backs. We don't want to ID this player until we're absolutely sure. Let's talk some NFL Sunday Night Football. Two teams desperate for a win collide as last season's top receiver T.Y. Hilton and the Colts go head-to-head with the Seahawks' talented secondary, the Legion of Boom, if you will. Indianapolis versus Seattle Sunday night at 7:20 on KRIS 6 right after football night in America.
Number 9 is the Miller Buccaneer that was shaken up on
Justice
the play.
Watson, their fine inside linebacker.
Yeah, he may be their best defensive player.
He's a good one. He can really run. So the completion clears for the first down with the nose of the ball out across the 40-yard line. Give right up the middle. This is a foot race, and this gentleman is likely to win it. Let's see if he gets into the end zone, keeps his balance. What strength and speed. Frank Jones takes it to the house.
Well, he showed some power and speed on that run, and wow, that's a very impressive play after getting the first down a moment ago. Veterans regains the lead now at 12-6. Let's see if they go for 2 or they go for the old-fashioned extra point.
64 yards on the touchdown run. And for Frank Jones, that's his 9th touchdown of the year. This time they will go for the PAT. And that is Romario Perez, who is perfect on the year. He's 24 of 24. And he is now 25 of 25. And with that, the Veterans Memorial Eagles retake the lead as they break this 6-6 deadlock and now lead by a touchdown and a PAT at 13-6, Alan.
All righty. If we got a replay, we'll take a look at it. Here he goes. Jones, an open territory right there, and he gets past the defender, and he scores. And
impressed with his strength. Absolutely. Takes it to the house. So we've got a timeout on the field. 8:36 remaining before halftime. Eagles lead it 13-6. You're watching Texas High School football coming to you from KRIS Communications.
I'm
54.
54. Welcome back to Buck Stadium. The Eagles have just taken a 13-6 lead thanks to this long run here, 54 yards from Frank Jones, showing power and speed. Look at the big man go down that sideline. They're not going to get him, and they get the PAT. So Paul Alexander, we've got a 13-6 lead now with 8:36 to play in the first half.
Really important that the Buccaneers answer right away right now. Boy, Frank Jones is one of these guys. You hear this said about running backs that the more carries they get, the stronger they get. That is clearly the case with him. And as we mentioned, that was his 9th touchdown of the year, and we're only in the first half of ball game number 5.
I'm not sure what the rushing totals are right now, but right now it's all Veterans Memorial. I don't think Miller has hardly anything on the ground so far.
Miller has -2 yards.
Okay, I think, and Betts they've got to have nearly 100 yards.
Look at this, onside attempt, and a pretty good one. Seth Solis is waiting for the ball to go 10 yards. Did it? He recovered the ball. Now, Alan, the only question is, did it go the full 10 yards? What a heady play by Solis. Did you see him kind of coaxing the ball for 10 yards? So we're just going to have to see where they spot it. This is all about the spot. If it went 10 yards, it is the Eagles football. And once again, Alan, we've been talking all night about how absolutely aggressive Cody Semper and this Eagles coaching staff has been throughout the first half.
Well, we're waiting on the call. Here it comes.
Yep, nose of the ball at the 50. Okay, what they ruled is that Solis touched the ball prior to the time that it went 10 yards. So let's take a look here. Almost perfectly executed. Solis was in kind of a tough position here. We'll see if he touched the ball prior to the time that it got to midfield, and their rule, man, that's pretty close. Man, that's pretty close, but they ruled that he illegally touched it before it went 10 yards. So with that gamble backfires ultimately, and the Buccaneers have the football right at midfield, trailing by 7 points at 13-6 with 8:35 remaining before halftime. Vasquez has gone all the way at quarterback for the Buccaneers. Bubble screen left side complete, but they're going to probably lose about a half yard. Don't forget that coming up at halftime, we'll have first half highlights and stats. Nikila Pradier takes a look at this wonderful resurgence of Miller Buccaneer football. We'll feature both bands and drill and dance teams, and we'll get a KRIS 6 news and weather brief. That's all coming up at halftime, which is 8 minutes and 12 seconds away. Officially no gain on that completion. 2nd and 10, ball still squarely at midfield. 3 receivers to the right side, that's the near side of the formation. Michael Smith is the running back alongside Vasquez. Vasquez looks left side, going deep once again. This one's going to be picked off. That's a nice job by Davis Horn as the ball was thrown too far to the inside. Horn not only with the pick, but with the big return all the way down to the Buccaneer 43-yard line. Alan, they were trying to get the isolation on the outside, but the ball was thrown to the inside, and that enabled the safety to make the play.
Yeah, that's a great description of this play. And here's the end. I had 2 guys on it. He's double covered, just nowhere to throw that ball in, and he brings it back all the way to about the 43-yard line.
You're right. It was excellent coverage by John Longoria, and that's what enabled Davis Horn to come over and make the pick on that ball that was thrown a little too far to the inside. So the Eagles now leading by 7 with another opportunity before halftime. 7:44 left. Ball at the Buccaneer 43-yard line. Play fake. They'll throw the hitch to Solis on the near side. He's a pretty strong guy. He gets pretty good yardage out of that as he gets inside the 40, almost all the way to the 35, down to the 36-yard line. He stayed at bounds, so the clock continues to run.
Gain of 7 yards on the play, 2nd down.
2nd and 3. Again, they'll get it off to their strong running back, Frank Jones. He's the one that took it 54 yards to the house moments ago. Almost broke that one, Alan.
Yeah, they have not had an answer for him. Look at them. They're hurrying up to the line of scrimmage. They want to run another play as quickly as possible. Miller a little bit tired on defense.
From the 25, Jones once again, this time over left guard.
We had talked about the veterans running game before this drive. They had already churned up 120 yards on the ground.
Well, they're averaging 316 on the ground per game. Gadget play, they pitch it out to Solis inside the 15, down to about the 12. He's going to have the first down, and they are really now, Allen, opening up this playbook, and that's what you can do when you can run the ball effectively.
Boy, you are right about that. And good gang tackling there by the Bucks to keep him out of the end zone. Here it is again, and kind of just, that's unusual, just kind of throw it out there with two hands. And now they're faced with, well, they did get the first down.
Yes, they did.
First and 10.
From the 14-yard line, and we have a flag and a procedure penalty coming up against the Eagles. Boy, that's unfortunate for them. The last thing in the world you want to see with that kind of field position. So the line of scrimmage was the 14, going to move it back to the 19, and it'll be 1st and 15.
Can I throw a couple of scores at you real quick?
Please.
The Flower Bluff is all over Alice 28-3 in the second quarter, and it's a tight one over at Cabinets Field. Tolosa Midway leads Moody 21-20 late second quarter in that game.
Just a reminder, a week from tonight, we'll be at Cabinets for that big game between Veterans Memorial and Flower Bluff. It's coming up a week from tonight. On first down, they'll give it off. Frank Jones cracks toward the middle, then veers to the right side, and this time the Buccaneer defense converges, so they get back some of the penalty yardage, but not all of it. Matter of fact, after all is said and done, that's only a gain of about 2.
Yeah, now they're forced with still second and long, 2nd and 13 now from the 17-yard line. So think they got a fade throw here in the corner of the end zone like we've seen from Miller?
Well, they got a formation for it because they have an isolation to the top side of the formation. Let's see if they're going there, and there is no safety help. So that might be, Allen, exactly what they're looking at. Looks that way, but then throws back the other way on an inside screen to Solis. The ball's on the ground. It's loose. There is a mad scramble about the 6-yard line, and the Miller Buccaneers have it. They have turned away this threat. Unofficially, that's Ralph Rodriguez.
He's been all over the place.
Yes, he had a pick and now a fumble recovery.
And he had the big kickoff return as well tonight. So he's been Mr. Everything so far. So now Miller with 5:31 to go. They catch the ball deep in their own territory. Let's see if they can do anything with it.
All right, 5:31 remaining before halftime. That'll be a very frustrating thing for Coach Semper and the Eagles because they were in position to make this a 2-score game.
Yeah, they got to be kicking themselves right now.
Okay, Vasquez, the quarterback from the gun, the pistol this time. Quarterback is standing back at about his 1-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Running play, this time into the secondary goes Michael Smith, their fine senior running back. And, boy, that's one of the few times tonight that they've gotten good rushing yardage on first down.
You're right, because you said they were, -2 rushing coming into this particular drive.
Okay, so they're back in the black now. Gain of about 7.
Michael Smith told me before the year he wanted to rush for 1,500 yards this year. That was his goal. Lofty goal, but hey, something to shoot.
You have to set lofty goals to achieve lofty things. 3 receivers to the top side of the formation. They'll throw it to the inside guy that way. It's complete. Got the first down at about the 21-yard line, and a nice play by Laz Franco, who came into this game with 20 catches and 4 touchdowns.
Boy, a big hit there by number 21 for Veterans Memorial, Anthony Carrera. They do hit hard on that veteran side of the defense. But hey, they moved the chains.
Well, and after they set them, the clock running again with 4.5 minutes remaining before halftime. Vasquez gives it off. Running back cuts it back up inside. This time that's Marcel Davis, the sophomore. No, I've checked that. That's Michael Smith once again on the carry.
Tackle made by number 42.
So the nose of the ball, just shy of the 25-yard line. And we've got a 2nd and 8 situation. This time the Buccaneers send 3 receivers to the left side. And again, that's Laz Franco. And what they're seeing right now, Allen, is kind of an uncovered principle. If the guy on Franco is not walked up, they just play pitch and catch with it. Play clears for the first. Vasquez gives it off inside to Michael Smith. And this time he's got a gain of about 2.
Obviously, the Buccaneers are being a little conservative on this drive. They got plenty of time, 3:33 to play here before halftime.
If they get a little more field position, they'll take another deep shot. Right now it's 2nd and 8. Again, 3 receivers to the left side of the formation. Again, they keep it on the ground. Again, that's Michael Smith. He tries the left side this time and really doesn't get much. And as a matter of fact, they're going to mark this for a short loss back at the 35-yard line.
Big play, 3rd and 8.
Big play for the Buccaneers, but also a dangerous play. You got to be real careful not to turn this one over again before halftime. Vasquez wanted to throw right under pressure, goes back to the left side, and now essentially has to throw the ball away. The closest receiver was Bubba Lloyd, but more than anything else, Vasquez there was just trying to avoid the INT.
That stops the clock, 2:45. Vet still has 1 timeout left, so they're going to get the ball in pretty good field position after this punt.
What do you think? Do you come after the punt?
I don't know.
Maybe not, because the punter hadn't had a lot of success, so you got to figure you got pretty good field position after this change of possession.
You got Gomez back there to take the punt, and he's had success this year. You figure they're going to get the ball at least on around their 45, maybe around the around the 50-yard line, perhaps.
Punts away, and this is a short one, and it may back up when it hits the ground, and it does. That one was like a golf wedge shot.
Goodness.
You know, so again, they made the right decision there in not coming after the punter, because the punt was a very short one, and the Eagles are going to have not just good, but great field position with 2:37 remaining before halftime. They can spot that ball at the Buccaneer 37-yard line. Two of America's wealthiest families feud over control of their fortune and their children. From the creators of Gossip Girl and the OC, don't miss the series premiere of Dynasty. That's Wednesday, October 11th at 8 p.m. on the CW, South Texas. Eagles trying to add to their 7-point lead. They're up 13-6 on first down. They'll give it once again to Frank Jones. Why wouldn't you? When that guy is being so effective, you just keep feeding him.
Frank Jones has to be getting close to 100 yards rushing just here in the first half alone. I'll be interested to see what his first half stats wind up being, but he's been roaring up and down the field all first half,
including a 54-yard touchdown in which he displayed both speed and really, really strong lower body strength to stay in bounds. Gain of almost 7. So Soto this time with a long count, 2 receivers left and right. Soto on the zone read will keep it himself, will have the first down around the 25-yard line, and the clock will stop momentarily at least while they move the chains.
Key is, can they hold on to the football? They've had some issues in this part of the field tonight.
Aaron Lugo checks into the ball game at running back for the Eagles. He's a pretty good player himself. He's the number 8 rusher in the district.
Ooh, good play there.
This time there's going to be a loss of yardage all the way back to about the 29-yard line. It's an excellent job of penetration by that Buccaneer defense. That was a great play by Justice Watson. So Justice laid the law down that time. Ball back at about the 28 from the pistol. Soto with a long count. Wide receivers adjust their splits a little bit. Here's Soto, play fake, throws left side, got a man wide open. Inside the 15, down to about the 13-yard line. That's Kobe Piper, the fine sophomore wide receiver for these Eagles.
Yeah, nice play there. There's no rush, 46 seconds. Clock is winding down. They still have 1 timeout.
They wind the clock, and here we go. Running play, and boy, this running back just gets a mouthful. That was Aaron Lugo, but he was just met right on the kisser that time as this Buccaneer defense getting aggressive. And really what we've been told, Alan, is the strength of that defense is the two inside linebackers, Justice Watson and Kalik Nichols. They are really fine football players and very, very aggressive. We'll keep it right here right now with 26 seconds remaining before halftime. We'll remind you that at halftime, we'll try to show you portions of the performances of both bands and Spirit squads. We'll have a special report from Nikila Pradier on the resurgence of Miller Buccaneer football. We'll have a news and weather update from our KRIS 6 newsroom. That's all coming up at halftime, which is 41 seconds away.
Your hometown HEB, a proud supporter of high school football.
Tonight's game, we always want to remind you, because we're so appreciative, it's sponsored by AutoNation. Okay, you just heard the referee there say they're going to reset the game clock to 29 seconds as the Eagles are trying to add to their 13-6 lead. Frank Jones back in the ball game at running back for the Eagles.
So you got time to throw maybe two in the end zone here before you attempt a field goal if you can't score a touchdown here.
You're actually in pretty good shape with respect to clock management right here. You got some options.
Wide it out. Wide it out, right there.
Although they are out of timeouts, but again, they'll be throwing the football, so they've got good field position here. Soto looks left side, throws a screen left side. The ball kind of hung there a little bit. It was complete to Seth Solis, but an excellent job of converging by the Buccaneers secondary led by cornerback Keelan Gu. So now on third down, fade, left side of the end zone for Solis. It is incomplete, but there's going to be a flag. Yeah, there was contact before the ball arrived, and Solis did a nice job of wedging his body in there. I think they're going to get Keelan Gu on the interference call.
You see him fake the spike there. He faked it, then all of a sudden he threw the ball, and which resulted, of course, which probably will be defensive pass interference. Let's find out. Still 9 seconds left. Watch Paul here as he fakes the spike here, pretends to fake it, and then he throws it, and right here.
Just got there a little bit early. It was close. A defender did not turn his head, but there was contact with the receiver's arm prior to the time the ball arrived. So a close call, but I think a good one. Line of scrimmage, the 2-yard line. Frank Jones, the running back. And Ryan Hernandez, an offensive lineman, is in at fullback. But this is going to be a walk-in on the part of Frank Jones. Nice ball handling there by David Soto, but that was a hole as wide as the Grand Canyon. And so with that, for the moment, the score is 19-6 Eagles. And we'll see if they go chasing that point right now. And apparently, are they going to?
They are?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Extra
They
point.
bring the kicker in. Kind of rethought that one, and it's a good idea, I would say, because their kicker, Romario Perez, is 25 for 25 on the year. Make that now 26 for 26. And with that, with 6 seconds remaining before halftime, the Eagles extend their lead to 20-6.
Well, they took a chance there, I kind of thought, with just a few seconds left. They ran the ball. Miller stops them. Half is over.
All right, so we're going to keep it right here with so little time remaining here in the first half. So the Eagles, who've been frustrated a couple of times, punch this one in, and they take a 2-score advantage right now at 20-6. And you see the Veterans Memorial crowd really getting into it right now as their players are exhorting them to really make some noise. And they have made some noise here in this second quarter, now up by 14.
Yeah, they're beginning to pull away here in the second quarter. Their defense is starting to take control of this football game. And the offense pretty much doing what they want. They can either run or throw. They've been good on special teams. And, you know, I'm sure that Miller will go to the locker room and think this thing up, try to, you know, get reorganized and come out and try to answer some of these scores that Betts has put in here in the second quarter.
Alan, what are you seeing so far? Because right now, I think the difference in the ball game is what you just referenced. The Eagles have offensive balance. They can run it, they can throw it. There's been almost no running game from the Buccaneers, and that's put their quarterback in a very, very difficult situation.
It really has, because Betts can put 5, 6 guys back in the secondary and only rush 3 if they have to. And it's just one of those, that's what veterans does. That's what Cody Simper says. We play defense first, special teams second, and it sets up our offense.
Romario Perez, who just converted that PAT, set to kick it off. And he sets the ball down on the near hash mark. He'll kick it to the wide side of the field, and it actually is going to go out of bounds. Not exactly what Veterans Memorial had in mind there. So now we'll see what, if anything, Miller elects to try to do with the remaining 6 seconds in the half.
Illegal procedure, kick out of bounds on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, we'll re-kick.
Okay, so we're going to kick it again.
Now, does Miller have the choice?
They do. So I guess maybe what they're thinking is they think their best option is getting a long return, possibly, because otherwise, had they gone the other way, they would have had pretty decent field position, but you kind of would have been relegated to one Hail Mary.
One Hail Mary,
yeah.
Hey, Kyle Cedric, what I want.
While we've got a moment, I want to give a shout out to our good friend Jim Lago, the excellent morning talk show host at KKTX Radio. Jim's a huge football fan. He's also recovering from open heart surgery. We wish him all the best because Jim Lago, Alan, is a good dude.
Oh, he is. I've known him for, 30, 35 years, I guess, and does great work over there.
So after the procedure penalty for kicking it off out of bounds, they'll move it back to the 35-yard line.
All right, so just kick it down the middle. What are they going to do here? Just kick it as far as you can?
I'm not going to second guess anybody. I'd be real tempted to squib this one hard. Not kick it short, but kick it really hard on the ground and try to converge there and try to keep the ball away from the return man. But it's a relatively high kick. It is short. It's going to be taken at the 25-yard line and was actually fair caught. There wasn't much of a signal there. But the ball was fair caught by KRIS Saldana. And because of that, no time goes off the clock. So at least the Buccaneers are going to get one shot here.
Kind of where they would have been anyway, don't you think, a moment ago?
Probably.
Pretty about the same position. So let's see. Throw it down there, hope for a pass interference call, right? And then maybe get one more play after that?
Yeah, that or I don't know. The first thing in my mind you have to think about here is whatever you do, just don't turn it over. And they actually, I think they may have, I don't know for sure. Was that an illegal fair catch signal, did they say? Because it moved the ball back to the 25-yard line.
I did not see a call.
I'm not saying that's the case, but the ball is at the 25. That's not great field position. So the Buccaneers may elect to be at least somewhat conservative here with 6 seconds remaining before halftime. They want to throw it, but there's a whistle before the snap.
Delay a game offense.
Oh, wow. Going to be a delay a game penalty, 5 yards. Again, this is just me. At this point after the penalty, I would take a knee and get out of here.
I'm sure that's what they're going to do. But you never know.
Well, they got 5 whites in the game, so let's see. Yeah, they're going to throw it left side. It's complete. They got a one-on-one situation there. Receivers knocked out of bounds. That is Bubba Lloyd.
0.2 of a second to
John
go.
Longoria on defense for the Eagles. And they're, exactly, 0.2 of a second remaining.
Pass play does pick up a Buccaneer first down.
First down completion, or the completion for the first down, I should say, moves the ball out across the 35-yard line.
Let's go.
All right, they marked it for play. There goes the final 0.2. We've played half a football game here at Buccaneer Stadium, and our score after 24 minutes of play, the Eagles lead the Buccaneers by 14. by a score of 20-6. In just a moment, we're going to throw it down to Nikila Pradier, and she'll get some comments from Eagles coach Cody Semper. But before we do that, Alan Harwell, your overall impressions, what are you seeing happening here?
Well, I'm seeing that Veterans Memorial has dominated this game with their passing and their running game and their special teams. Miller has not been able to run the ball. They've had a little bit of success passing the ball, but so far it's been all vets.
All right, hope you're enjoying this game. It's the battle of unbeatens. Veterans Memorial came in here 4-0, and the Miller Buccaneers 3-0 after that exciting double overtime victory over Moody last week. So you guys kind of let me know when we see Nikila ready to go with Coach Cody Semper. In the meantime, I want to let you know that we are going to be bringing you at least part of the performance by both bands and their spirit squad. So with that, let's throw it down to the third member of our broadcast team, our good friend, Nikila Pradier.
Thanks, Paul and Alan. I'm here with Vets coach Cody Semper. Coach, you talked about mistakes early in the game, and it seems like that kept the game close early, but you guys were able to pull away a bit at the end of the second quarter. Tell me just about opening up the playbook and really giving your offense a chance to do some different things on the field.
Well, we actually did the exact opposite, and we just needed to get our guys to settle in. They came out, they were too emotional. We made a lot of emotional mistakes. We turned the ball over. We had penalties. Those are things that we said we couldn't do. So what we actually did is we narrowed our playbook. We simplified everything. We got back to our basic football, and we started playing hard. And if we continue to do that, we can eliminate some of the goofy mistakes that we haven't made all year, then we should control the second half. And
I imagine a big part of that is incorporating your running back, Frank Jones. He had a very good first half. So will you continue to just kind of feed him in terms of balancing your offensive attack? Yeah,
the ball has to be distributed to multiple players. They're doing a very good job defensively against us. They're trying to take our best players out of the game plan. So we do have to distribute the ball across the board to all of our other guys and make sure that we keep them off balance.
Okay. All right. We'll see how the second half goes. Thanks, Coach. All right, guys. Well, that was Veterans coach Cody Semper, and Paul and Alan will be back in a minute with a recap of some first half action. We'll also have a good story about the resurgence of the Miller program. We'll be back with that in just a minute. You're watching Texas High School football on KRIS Communications.
I think looking good.
Okay.
Back at halftime at Buccaneer Stadium. Our score after 24 minutes of play, the Veterans Memorial Eagles lead the Miller Buccaneers by a score of 20-6. Ended up being an excellent night for football after some rain earlier in the day. We're watching some of the things that make high school football such a wonderful institution here in Texas. There's so many people involved, so many groups go beyond the football team, and we wanted to show you part of the performance by each band and spirit squads. Right now, you're watching that fine unit from Veterans Memorial High School as they're putting on quite the show here. Alan, you remember that back when you were in high school, how everybody got into it? You know, it wasn't just the football team. It was the whole school coming together. And that, to me, is really the abiding, lasting value of high school football and high school sports.
Yeah, I totally agree. You got the band, you've got the drill team, the cheerleaders, the pep squad, the flag corps. all coming together all at one night. And it's a big event because all those fans you see in the stands are parents of all these kids. And this is a highlight of their week for many of these kids.
Tell you what, let's just hang with this for a few minutes because these people work very, very hard for what they do on Thursday and Friday night.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Veterans Memorial High School is proud to present the pride of the South Side, the toast of the Texas Gulf Coast, the Veterans Memorial High School Screaming Eagle Band. The Screaming Eagle Band is under the direction of Junior Drum Major Lacey Silverstein, Senior Drum Majors Aaron Miller and Holly Lamette. Section of the week is the Twirlers Victoria Athletics. This evening the band will perform their year-end contest show titled Bound.
Sound great. The Veterans Memorial High School band and dance team, they look and sound great. Now, earlier this week, we had a chance to check in on the Miller Buccaneers football team. Nikila Pretier talked to the coach, the players, about a team that's turned out to be extra special this year. It's a resurgence of football at Miller. A once proud football program had struggled over the past several years, but check out her special report.
Get there, run, get there.
And 2 came over here. football season. We're just coming here to play.
And their play is impressive so far. The Bucks tout some of the top players in the extremely tough District's 35A, but it's not all about skill.
I think the discipline has really been picked up and brought into this school, and I think it's really helped.
You see what discipline does. You get into overtime games and you're able to win them because kids, the situation is never too big because of what you've put them through in the off season.
The new approach has also attracted students from other sports, including basketball, adding athleticism and toughness to the Miller squad.
We told them that it was going to be a different season than it has been, and everybody's seen us work harder than we ever have before, so they wanted to be a part of the program and the success that we're going to have this year.
Coach Evans says another key to their success is building relationships, not only with his players, but with Miller alumni and former players.
I mean, you can look in the stands and see that they've really come out and they've been loud and been so supportive. It's been overwhelming. They do mean it when they say once a buck, always a buck.
Our thanks to Nikhil Pradier for that story. And she's talking about how Coach Evans is changing the culture of the Miller Buccaneers, and that's a long process, but clearly he's the right man for the job. That guy is so magnetic. You feel good just being around that guy.
I know a lot of people thought he had made a bad decision to go from Alice to Miller, but he said, hey, they've got talent at Miller. I want to get that talent. It's a sleeping giant and wake him up and let's get it going. And she talked about the crowd. Good crowd again tonight on this Thursday night.
We're at halftime at Buccaneer Stadium, and after 24 minutes, the Eagles lead the Buccaneers by a score of 20-6. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll catch some of the performance by the Miller Band and Spirit squads. But right now, a reminder again, the Eagles lead it by 14 at 20-6. Back momentarily. We thank you for watching Texas high school football, coming to you from KRIS Communications.
I can barely hear when y'all are taking me. So you're doing great. And then he's saying burn instead of, and I don't know if he's saying burn or pour, so I'm just like, no, he's saying burn. Oh,
I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Okay. I'll tell
Directors for the Screaming Eagle Band are student teacher Ryan Carlisle, color guard tech Liana Lopez, assistant directors Lauren Gutierrez and Eric Lara, director of bands Mr. Sean Athey. We would like to take this time to thank Mrs. Kim James and all the administration, faculty, and staff at BMHS, and everyone in the CCISD community for their continued support. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the game.
We are so happy you're with us here on the CW, part of KRIS Communications, as we're bringing you this Thursday night special, a battle of unbeatens between the Veterans Memorial Eagles and the Miller Buccaneers. Moments ago, we saw part of that fine performance by the Eagle Band and Spirit squads. Equal time for sure. Let's check in with the Miller Buccaneers as they're taking the field. Let's see what they have planned for us.
Good evening. The 2017-2018 Roy Miller High Steppers will perform to a kick routine by 2 Unlimited, No Limit. The officer line this year is Colonel Bridget Amador, Major Crystal Fernandez, Captain and Captain Samantha Sorolla. The High Steppers are under the direction of Vanessa Martinez. Principal for Miller High School is Ms. Stella Torres.
You gotta really enunciate that in.
Welcome back to Buccaneer Stadium as you're watching the dance team here of the Miller Buccaneers, and they're entertaining this home crowd as the Buccaneers are the home team tonight. We're at halftime as Veterans Memorial leads Miller 20-6 in this battle of unbeatens. We want to mention again that a week from tonight we'll be doing another game, this one a huge game in the South Zone between these same Veterans Memorial Eagles and Flower Bluff, and Alan Harwell. Flower Bluff is undefeated and leading in their game tonight, correct?
Yes, they're winning big right now, 35-10 at the half over undefeated Alice. And Moody leads TM 27-21 also at halftime.
We'll keep an eye on that. We've got about 10 minutes remaining in halftime, so right now we're going to take a break. On the other side, we'll get a news and weather update from our KRIS 6 newsroom. We thank you for watching Texas High School football, coming to you from KRIS Communications.
back there. It's all right, though. Yeah, he gave me the leave, so I should be good. Yeah. Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm so glad it's wireless. I'm running all through there, so. Yeah.
We're at halftime at Buccaneers Stadium as the Veterans Memorial Eagles have taken a 20-6 lead over the Miller Buccaneers. This game was tied at 6 after one quarter, but the Eagles, with a couple of second period touchdowns, throw it to my partner Alan for highlights.
All right, you're right. This is how we got here tonight. And again, on the opening drive, Veterans got it done, and their big man, Frank Jones, up the gut. They just can't stop him. They would miss on the two-point conversion and take the early 6-0 lead. Miller would get the ball back on their opening possession. They would drive it down the field. Josh Vasquez, long pass to Bubba Lloyd in the corner of the end zone. He scores. They missed the PAT, so we were deadlocked 6-6 after the first period. So we head to the second quarter. It's Frank Jones again. Look at this. It's a big run right here. This is a 54-yarder, and they would get the extra point, and they would take a 13-6 lead, and they were beginning to, well, take control of this football game, both on offense and defense. Here's a big pick right here by Veterans, number 9. There he is. That is Mr. Horn, and he'll take it back almost the distance. He would set up another Veterans score, and it would be Frank Jones again who would score. Here he comes, and that's where we are right now. 20-6 Veterans leads at halftime.
Okay, we mentioned the fact it was a 6-6 game after one. Veterans really cranked it up in the second quarter. Let's go to our halftime stats. Rushing yards, Memorial with 162. Now, keep in mind, they came into this game averaging 316 rushing yards per game. Maybe the story of the first half, Miller's inability to run the football. As you see, they only have 9 rushing yards. Total yards, 201 to 75, but actually Memorial tracking a little bit under their season average because they came in here averaging right at 500 total yards per game. But look at this, Memorial has also turned the ball over 4 times to help keep Miller in the football game. Now, one of those turnovers was turning the ball over on downs.
Yes, that is correct. So let's see what Miller can do. They should get the ball first here to start the second half, and they're going to have to answer quickly to try to set a new tone here in the final 24 minutes of this game.
We got about 2.5 minutes before we resume play. I want to remind you that next week, a South Zone battle between 2 powerhouse teams as Braden Sharon and the undefeated Hornets, they're on their way to going 4-0 tonight, face off with David Soto and these high-flying Veterans Memorial Eagles. That's Flower Bluff versus VM. That's next Thursday, a week from tonight at 7 on the CW South Texas, and also streaming live on the KRIS 6 News Facebook page. All right, so, you know, Miller, they're a very composed team. They've been involved in 3 close games. You know they're not going to crater. Alan, what do they have to do to get back in the ball game, particularly given the fact that they're having no success on the ground?
Well, yeah, they've got to establish their running game, and they've got to hit on some of these long passes. They've thrown the ball a lot in the first half. They've only hit on just really 2 big pass plays. So if they can get their passing game going and get a legitimate running game going, then they can get back in this ball game. I'll be interested to hear what Coach Evans has to say starting the second half.
But aren't you impressed with the way Coach Evans has elevated this program? Not just the culture, not just the spirit, but the quality of athletes they have.
He really has. He's talked in a lot of kids coming out, try out for football. Many basketball players, a lot of baseball players, some track guys, and everybody walking the halls now seems like they're playing football.
We were just talking about that wonderful coach, wonderful young coach for the Miller Buccaneers, Justin Evans. He is with our Nikila Pradier. We throw it down to them.
So, Coach, your guys were able to keep it close and get the ball on a lot of turnovers, but Betts was able to pull away a little bit at the end of the first half. So what do you tell your team about really setting the tone coming out here in the second half?
We got to finish drives. I mean, when we get turnovers, we got to go put the ball in the end zone, and that's just a simple deal. You know, we get the ball down there on the 5-yard line, we got to go punch it in. And so we've made some adjustments, and hopefully those adjustments work here in the second half.
We also saw your big wide receiver, Bubba Lloyd, kind of limp off a little bit earlier. Now, he did go back in in. How is his ankle doing?
He's fine. Bubba's fine. He's ready to go.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. All right, guys.
Thank you very much. Nikila, thank you very much. That is appreciated. Justin Evans, one of those guys, he's just got this composure about him. He's just got this aura about him. And by the way, the same thing could be said at Cody Semper at Veterans Memorial. But when you look around at all these head coaches in District 35A, they're all really impressive people.
They really are. And one of the things you could tell by Justin, he's had his team under control. He felt still very confident, despite the fact that he's two touchdowns down. All right, here's the key now. They have got to have some kind of success on this opening drive because they have not been able to stop veterans. The only thing that stopped veterans is themselves with those 4 turnovers tonight. Don't you agree?
I absolutely agree. So in a sense, the Buccaneers are fortunate to be in the football game, but that gives them an opportunity. And climbing back into it is what good football teams do, and the Buccaneers have shown up to this point in the season that they are in fact a good football team. They're going to get the ball to start the third quarter, trailing by 14. And we'll see if they can establish some success on the ground because it's really difficult to operate when you're looking at 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 all night long.
Yeah, it really is. And
so the guy that's probably the best kicker in the district, Romario Perez, set to kick it off for the Eagles. Here's the whistle, here's the kick. End over end, relatively short, taken at the 25-yard line, returned all the way across the field. Eagles in hot pursuit. This is a decent return, though. And on the return was KRIS Saldana, and he's going to give the Buccaneers pretty decent field position, and we'll see what tactics are employed here by Justin Evans as he tries to get his offense back in the football game. The offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, by the way, is Trey Allen. Line of scrimmage, the 34. Bucks down 2 scores. Josh Vasquez has gone all the way at quarterback. Marcel Davis will start the third quarter as his running back. They'll give it to Davis, left side, gets the corner, turns it up, lowers his shoulder, gets a gain of about 4. And as simple as relatively unspectacular as that was a successful play.
That was big. That kind of sets up. Well, they got the first down, didn't they? Yeah, I was going to say it set up a short 2nd and short, but no, they got the first. So yeah, Davis is a little quicker, a little bit faster, a little bit bigger than Mike Smith. They've got the thunder and lightning type backfield there for Miller.
That was a gain of 4, almost 5. So it's 2nd and about 6. With the ball out at the 38-yard line. This time, for the first time, we see 4 receivers to one side of the formation. That's the near side. Vasquez looks that way, and he throws it and gets the completion on the screen to, Cassius Clay. Yes, Cassius Clay on the reception. That's a big name to live up to, Alan.
Yeah, I think he's the number 6 receiver in the district. I think that's his first catch tonight.
It is. And it's going to set up a 3rd and just under 3 with the ball just shy of the Buccaneer 42-yard line. Again, they'll go quad receivers to the near side. And again, they throw it to Clay on that uncovered principle. He's going to be pretty close to the first down. Looks like he's got it out at about the 45-yard line. It's interesting to watch how the Eagle defense is lining up against those quad receivers. You can't get press coverage on all 4 of them, so in a sense, they just pick the guy that has the defender the farthest away from him.
Very interesting. That's a good point.
It'll be a first down out at the 45-yard line. This time they go quads to the far side of the field. Now they bring a receiver back to the near side. So it's a 3-2 setup, empty set for the quarterback, Vasquez. 3-man defensive front for the Eagles. They're blitzing, coming right up the middle. Vasquez gets it away quickly. Got a completion, got a man down around the Eagle 42-yard line. Laz Franco, the senior, knows what to do with it, and he gets the Miller Buccaneer first down and around the Eagle 42.
All right, good start by Miller here on this opening drive. This is exactly what they would have to do to get back in this football game.
Gain of 12 and a first down. Okay, so the shotgun snap is fumbled. Really, the snap, Allen, wasn't that bad. Vasquez had his eyes downfield, couldn't control it. Ball hits the ground. He wisely falls on it, but it's a loss of yardage all the way back to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, here it is again. You're right. It's Just took his eyes off the ball just for a split second. It hurt him.
So with that, it's a loss of 5. 2nd and 15. 3 wide receivers left, 2 right, empty set. This time a 4-man defensive front for the Eagles. And again, they try that slant principle to Cassius Clay. He caught a couple earlier on this drive, but this time the ball is underthrown and is thrown into the turf, setting up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 15, in fact.
Yeah, that should have been a completion right there. Just couldn't hit him in the open space. So this is a big play here, 3rd and 15.
It is. Promising beginning to this drive as the Buccaneers try to climb back from a 14-point deficit. They had a little something going, but that botched snap really put them behind the chains, as they say. 3rd and 15. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right side. Vasquez drops, throws over the middle, incomplete. He was looking on the post to Laz Franco, and the ball, they just couldn't quite make connections. So now it's 4th down, and you wonder how Justin Evans is going to deal with this. And this is probably the percentage move. If you can get a good punt, if you can pin them down, that might be the best way to flip and flop field position.
Yeah, I totally agree. They're hoping maybe for a turnover here and or pin Vets deep. Yeah, this is a veterans team that averages 53 points a ball game. They got 20 so far, so they've been held a little bit under their average.
Okay, it's a trick play as they short snap it to the up back, but it blows up in their face. Ball's on the ground. It's still loose, rolling toward the Buccaneer goal line. This is going to be a turnover, and they were trying to flip field position the other way, Alan. That's not what they had in mind when they were talking about flipping field position.
Yeah, well, just couldn't execute the fake there. The up man took the ball, and here it is again as we show it on the replay.
You know, keep in mind, Alan, that was 4th and 15.
Yeah, he's going to have to get 50.
Yeah, exactly. So already leading by 14. The Eagles now with another opportunity to get on the board, because after that turnover, they've got it 1st and 10 from the Buccaneer 32-yard line. Soto, the very versatile quarterback for the Eagles. On the zone read, keep, takes it off the right side, got a gain of 5, maybe 6. Clock running now with under 9 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
They can do that all night, I think, if they wanted to. That play works all night, I think.
I think with a 14-point lead, that's probably what they're going to want to do at this point. Again, zone read principle. They'll give it off to Frank Jones, but this time the Buccaneer defense is stout. They meet him right in the hole, setting up a 3rd and about 5 situation.
Tackle by number 2, Ralph Rodriguez.
I want to see this field goal kicker come out and maybe try a long one. They're kind of in a position right now, don't you think, if they don't get this first down?
Yeah, this guy's good. He's hit one from 50 earlier this year. He's perfect on field goals and perfect on PATs. Gadget play, little misdirection, and then they fire it out to Gomez on the right side. He's going to be brought down shy of 1st down yardage, setting up a 4th and about 2. And from that distance, even though you have a kicker that has hit from 50, I don't think there's any hesitation here on the part of Cody Semper, and there isn't. And the quarterback, Soto, takes it right up the gut. Not just the 1st down, he takes that one to the house. Touchdown, Veterans Memorial Eagles. That one coming from 25 yards away.
And we had talked about the fact that I think that play works all night here in the second half. And it works again to perfection. They made it look oh so easy. Let's take another look at it here. Soto with the fake, and then right up the middle. There's just nobody there. And then he's going to beat them to the goal line. And that's another touchdown for Vets. They now lead 26-6.
Nice work by that Eagle offensive line. They've got 4 seniors. We'll set their names in just a moment. Right now, Perez is on for the PAT. He remains perfect on the year. And with that, the Eagles extend their lead to 27-6 with 7:48 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back with the kickoff in a moment. Right now, we want to thank you for watching Texas High School football, coming to you from KRIS Communications.
From fresh cuts of meat to great low prices on snacks and drinks, HEB has just what you need to fire up for the game and get your grill on. When it comes to Friday night football and tailgating, no store does more than your hometown HEB, a proud supporter of high school football. Tonight's game is also the Coastal Community and Teachers Credit Union game of the week. You can listen to the game of the week each week on FM 105.5 KLHB.
Hey, watch the ball on team. Hey, let's go. Let's go return right. That front line. You might have to cut your 15 short. Okay, cut your 15 short, get on them so we can return right. Quick return, let's punch. Let's punch it through the front wall. So we got there. Everybody cool with that?
All right, welcome back to Buck Stadium. The Veterans Memorial Eagles have stretched their lead down to 27-6, courtesy of this 25-yard touchdown run up the gut by their great quarterback, David Soto, and they made it look so easy after the fake punt. It gave them great field position. All of a sudden, they have definitely taken charge of this football game.
And like we were talking about, credit to the offensive line. We'll talk about that in a moment. This quarter is brought to you by Del Air RV, in business for over 40 years. So, yeah, on that offensive line, the Eagles have 4 senior starters. Ryan Hernandez, the right tackle, is the lone junior. But let's sing their praises left to right. The left tackle, Josh Hernandez. The left guard, Clinton Middleton, one of the captains tonight. The center, Matthew Alvarez. The right guard, Viet Demas, who really made a nice block on that zone read play. And I mentioned the junior right tackle, Ryan Hernandez. So now it's a 21-point lead for Veterans Memorial at 27-6 with under 8 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. And what was a rough situation for the Buccaneers just got a little rougher. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be fielded at about the 15-yard line. Excellent coverage by the Veterans Memorial Eagles, and this is going to be a long field for the Buccaneers as they trail by 21.
Yeah, this is going to be the key drive right here. They have got to somehow answer the bell and get back in this football game right now.
You know, Alan, the heck of it is, their last drive, they actually had something going.
They
did. They had a modicum, a semblance of a running game. They had those 2 hitch completions to Cassius Clay, but then they had the botched snap out of the shotgun, and that kind of killed that drive. So, Josh Vasquez will try to work his wonders. He came into this game as the leading passer in the district. He's thrown 9 touchdown passes going into this game. Once again, it's the completion on that same principle to Cassius Clay. That's his 3rd catch, but that's his first headache. He got smacked.
He certainly did.
So, trailing by 21, the Buccaneers now with no choice but to push the pace a little bit. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. They got 2 receivers left and right. Actually, 3 receivers left now. So it's an empty set for the quarterback, Vasquez. Looks right side, got a man, complete, out to about the 30-yard line. That's Riley Horn on the completion. And that will be enough to move the chains. And that'll stop the clock momentarily with 7:03 remaining in quarter number 3. Again, they go empty. This time they throw it left side. That's Laz Franco on the completion, still on his feet, and finally is snowed under by 4 or 5 Eagle defenders.
Miller trying to get back in this football game. This kind of reminds me of that first drive. A couple of short passes. Try to move those chains a little bit. Nothing too fancy yet.
Well, it's really tough to call plays right now because, you know, there's the tendency you're down 21, you know, you want to hit the proverbial 5-run homer, and there's no such thing. They're not going to give you that, so you have to remain patient, and that's a very difficult thing to do. So the completion to Franco leaves us with a 2nd and 2 situation out at about the 38-yard line. Throw left side, complete, first down, out at about the 43. And that is Bubba Lloyd, who had the long touchdown completion earlier in the game on the reception. And I know that's about the 3rd time I've referenced this, but Vasquez really gets rid of the football in a hurry. That thing is out of there.
He does an excellent job, and he does a pretty good job of reading the defense, too. Just that he's been a little strong on a few passes tonight.
This is a base 4-2-5 defense for the Eagles. And we've got a whistle before the snap and a flag. Yep, so the left tackle moved a little early on that one. And once again, that's the kind of thing that Miller's been doing to shoot themselves in the foot. So now you got a situation where they're back in 1st and 15. And with that Eagle defense with a 21-point lead, they can kind of deal at this point. Deep ball right side. That is caught. Oh, I thought it was caught, but it came out. That was intended for Riley Hearn, and really good defense by Gavin Wilkinson, the senior defender for the Veterans Memorial Eagles. All right, so after the incompletion, 2nd and 15. Oh boy. It's a botched snap, rolling free back inside the 15-yard line, and he's going to get snowed under at the 18. That was Michael Smith, who sadly for him wound up with the football, but again, another huge mistake by the Buccaneers, who it's understandable why they're pressing a little bit at this point.
Yeah, just a bad snap over everybody's head, and Smith alertly picks up the loose pigskin, and what do you do in this situation? You just got to run and hope that you can pick up maybe a couple of yards back, but that forces them now with a really monstrous 3rd down situation here.
And unfortunately, if you force it deep here, you're more likely to throw a pick than you are to throw a completion.
3rd and 35.
Not the way Justin Evans would draw it up. And with that, Veterans Memorial calls a timeout. I'll tell you what, we'll take this opportunity to take a brief break here. Our score, Veterans Memorial Eagles 27, the Miller Buccaneers 6. Back in a moment. We thank you for watching Texas High School football, coming to you from KRIS Communications. Well, I'll tell you why they had a different name, because they took it off Max Brooks.
He's a goal.
Welcome back to Buck Stadium. 4:31 remaining in quarter number 3, with the Eagles leading the Buccaneers by 21 at 27-6. And what was already getting to be a dire situation for the Buccaneers has gotten worse, as they're looking at 3rd and 35 right now, back at their, well, nose of the ball just shy of the 18-yard line.
Well, I guess in this situation, you just don't want to turn the ball over, so maybe just play safe here, and you're going to end up kicking it. Just hope you gotta hold this.
Going to be hard to run the ball because they don't have a running back in the backfield with Vasquez. Vasquez retreats, throws deep, left side. Incomplete. It was intended for Laz Franco, and that was some really, really nice man coverage on the part of the Eagles. And with that, it's 4th down, and Veterans Memorial is about to get the football back.
And if you're Veterans Memorial, you got to be feeling pretty comfortable right now. You know you can run the ball, you can pass it.
Riley Hearn. Deep to
it hasn't been able to stop him at all tonight.
Number 1, Joshua Gomez.
they have to be feeling pretty good. They're going to get great field position out of this.
Veterans is a deep team, and we're starting to see the impact of that depth right now, as they are wearing the Bucks down a little bit. Punter standing back inside his 5-yard line. That may have been deflected, at least. At any rate, it's a relatively ineffective punt, as it's going to go out of bounds at about the Buccaneer 30-yard line. That snap was a little slow, a little high, and there was pretty good pressure coming from the Eagles special teams there. And that was a punt of only 9 yards, Alan.
Man.
As the third really short punt that the Buccaneers have made tonight.
All right, so Betts looks to make the exclamation point right here.
Who's on that side? What do you mean? I'm sorry. Huh?
Steady.
Ball
Dose
at
of Trent
28.
Jones.
Soto, brief play fake, pump, now goes deep down the left side, got a man wide open, caught, touchdown, Seth Solis. 28 yards on the touchdown completion from David Soto to Seth Solis, and for Solis, that is his 6th touchdown reception of the year.
Man, I got to tell you, this is drawn up absolutely perfect on the blackboard. Look at it again here. It's a great pass and a very nice catch as he beats the defender, and kind of a fingertip catch.
Look at, I was about to say, look at the full extension on the catch. That's why he's such a respected receiver, and he is only a junior. He'll be back next year, as will his quarterback. Perez trying to stay perfect on the year on PATs, and does so. And with that extends the Veterans lead to 34-6, 4:14 remaining in the third quarter. Back in a moment. We thank you for watching Texas High School football from KRIS Communications.
Powerade is giving away
All right, it took Veterans just one play to score on this drive, and here it is. David Soto, 25-yard pass play to Seth Solis. They make it look oh so easy. They lead 34-6, 4 minutes and 14 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Paul Alexander.
Alan, thank you, and also a special thanks to these sponsors of tonight's game. Thank you for making this possible. All right, there's nothing that's impossible. You know, I'm thinking about maybe the way the Aggies were come back on by UCLA, and I did not mean that to gig any Aggies there. I'm not saying that. So hope springs eternal, so anything can happen, but right now this is a huge lead for Veterans Memorial, and if they can hang on, that would set up this enormous game in the South Zone a week from tonight at Cabinets Field against Flower Bluff, which is on its way to going 4-0. More on that in just a moment. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be taken at the 22-yard line and returned up the middle, and just excellent convergence by that coverage team on the part of the Eagles. That was Marcel Davis on the return for the Buccaneers. And so, okay, again, we're not writing anybody off. We're not taking anything for granted. But if things stay the way they are, then the Miller Buccaneers are really going to want to regroup next week against GP.
Yes, that'll be a good game. Okay, you were talking about Flower Bluff.
Yeah.
They're playing unbeaten Alice tonight over in the Bluff. Right now, the Hornets have already scored 49 points. They lead 49-21 late third quarter.
All right, trailing by 28 now. Here's the Buccaneer offense. This time they do keep a back there with the quarterback Vasquez. That's Michael Smith on the carry. And he doesn't get a lot. Gets about 2, setting up a 2nd and 8 as we move under 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Three receivers right, lone receiver to the wide side of the field. Again, they keep it on the ground, and again, that's Michael Smith. And he's going to be shy of first down yardage. It's going to be third down.
Well, a lot of Miller fans are exiting the stadium already, Paul.
You know, I'm kind of sad to see that, especially after all the thrills that this Buccaneer team has brought them and that unforgettable game last Friday.
Oh,
they beat Moody.
That was a classic.
Marcel Davis in the ball game at running back on a third down play. He's going to be stopped short of the stake, so it's fourth down. I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose here. They're going to go for it on fourth and relatively short with the ball just shy of the 39-yard line. Back in the backfield alongside Vasquez. They give it off to Marcel Davis. It's going to be close, but right now, if the official's foot stays where it is, it's short, and they're going to turn the ball over on downs. And Veterans Memorial is going to get it back, leading by 28 late in the third quarter.
You know, we talked about the fact that Vets was only averaging giving up 7 points a game, and it looked like early on when Miller scored, they might score more than 7 points tonight. But now I'm beginning to wonder, Eagles may be able to hold them under that 7 points after all, if things keep going the way they are right now.
It's really the absence of a running game that has really hampered Miller tonight. And by the way, in saying that, I'm not taking anything away from the run defense on the part of the Eagles. They've done a great job. This time they take an offensive lineman, put him in the backfield as kind of a fullback there. They give it off to Frank Jones, and for one of the few times tonight, he's thrown for a loss back to about the 45-yard line. So he lost 5, almost 6.
Loss of yardage to the 45-yard line, second down.
Again, we've got this jumbo formation for the Eagles. Shotgun snap. Soto buying some time, floats left, throws it that way, and just throws it out of bounds. He's okay. There was not a receiver there, but there's no grounding because he was outside the pocket and he threw the ball well beyond the line of scrimmage. Third and long.
Yeah, one of the few times tonight they've been forced with a play like this, 3rd and 16. All the starters appear to still be out there.
These Eagle fans here on the near side doing the wave. They're liking this.
Yeah.
Eagles milking the clock a little bit right now, leading as they are by 28. Play clock at 7 right now. They move Jones to the right side of the formation. Now they screen it back left. This is set up pretty well. It's complete. 35, 30 into the clear. Going to be a foot race. Got a blocker out front. He may take this one to the house. He being Frank Jones.
Unbelievable the way they set that pass up. It was absolutely textbook screen pass.
Okay, there is a penalty marker down by the 5-yard line, so we'll have to see what that is. At any rate, it's a long completion, but there is some laundry line down there at the 5. Yeah, okay, interesting. I mentioned the fact he had a blocker out front of him, and he did, but apparently this blocker got a little bit too much jersey.
Let's take another look at it here, see if we can pick it up. And,
I think it's John Newman, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at just the athletic ability.
Oh, he's smooth, too.
Yeah.
Now watch this. Good block out front. Well, we didn't really see it, but prior to that time, he may have had his hands outside the framework of the shoulders, so that accounts for the holding penalty. The touchdown is negated, but it's still a long gain, carrying down to the Buccaneer 15-yard line. First down from there. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ball over the middle.
Ooh.
Once again, Seth Solis on the completion of the post, his second touchdown reception of the evening, and this one now officially blown open.
15-yard pass play, and man, it's going to be hard to come out with a star of the game tonight. There's been so many. for Veterans Memorial tonight.
Yeah, there have been, but I think I might be going with Mr. Jones on this one. they've had some great performances, but when the ball game was being decided, it was Frank Jones who really blew this thing open.
And we may have seen the last of Jones in this game. It'd be interesting to see how much longer that Cody Semper is going to stick with the starters in this game with it 42-6. But here's the play again, Paul. Look at it. He throws it up, and then Solis goes up and makes a nice grab.
I guess Seth Solis, one of the outstanding receivers in the district, his second touchdown of the evening. Back in a moment. We thank you for watching Texas High School football, coming to you from KRIS Communications.
For two. All right, welcome back to Buck Stadium. It's 42-6 now. Vets here in the third quarter, and here's the play that got us here. Soto with the 25-yard pass to Seth Solis. They would also get the two-point conversion to add to the misery of this game for Miller as they begin now to stretch their lead. And you said they pretty much capped this one, huh?
Boy, just a strong performance as they're going to run their record to 5-0, and we're going to have that huge game next week against Flower Bluff. By the way, that is a week from tonight. We'll be bringing it to you here on the CW from KRIS Communications. You watch the Blacklist?
No, I'm sorry.
Blacklist is pretty good stuff.
Not
we'll be
seen
talking
it.
more about that later. That's some outstanding programming there. My wife likes that one.
You talked about the Bluff. They're still up 49-21 over Alice. So let's see who's going to outscore who tonight, Flower Bluff or Veterans Memorial.
They're in a race right now, that's for sure. Tell you what, if we get a chance here in a second, I want to tell you more about the Blacklist.
Moody still leads TM, by the way, 41-28 in the fourth quarter.
Here's the kickoff, taken at the 10-yard line and returned on the far side, out across the 30 to the 32. And on the return for the Miller Buccaneers is Ralph Rodriguez, who, despite the fact that his team is down right now, has had a pretty big night. Okay, I want to tell you about the Blacklist.
What's it about?
I feel guilty about not telling you about the Blacklist.
What's it about anyway?
Thank you for asking, Alan Harwell. As Red tries to rebuild his criminal reputation, Liz and the task force join him in pursuit of a billionaire who moonlights as a high-end art thief. Watch the Blacklist on its new day and time, Wednesday at 7 p.m. on KRIS 6. This is tough duty for Vasquez, their quarterback right now, as this pass rush for the Eagles can just pin their ears back and come. As the Eagles with a 36-point lead at this point as we near the end of quarter number 3.
You know, as so impressed as we are Veterans, there are so many other good teams in this district as well. You talk about Flower Bluff, Cal Allen, King's getting better because they're healthy now.
You know, if King's getting better because they got their quarterback back. At some point, Ray's going to get their quarterback. It is a quarterback-driven league for sure.
They'll get him. They're supposed to get him back when they get Alice next week. So we'll see.
So Vasquez looking to the far side to get the call from the Buccaneer offensive coordinator, Trey Allen. 3 receivers to the near side, 2 up top. Blitz coming. Vasquez throws it on the skinny post and just couldn't quite make connections with his senior wide receiver, Laz Franco.
This is the strongest I've seen this district, Paul, in a long, long time. Everybody has a chance to win week in and week out this year.
You know, I'm so happy to hear that and see that, because sometimes I think Corpus Christi and Coastal Bend high school football doesn't get quite the respect that it would warrant. I think sometimes our teams here are underrated. So the Bucks going to have to punt it away again. This time the snap is a good one. Punter gets it away clean. There's a defender rolling at his feet, but no flag. And we'll see where they mark it. They're going to mark it in Buccaneer territory at about the 47-yard line, and we'll keep it right here with 1:27 remaining here in this third quarter. That was a punt of 22 yards. And Soto still in the ball game at quarterback for the Eagles.
Yeah, maybe they'll let him go ahead and finish out the third chapter.
And Jones is still in the ball game at running back.
All right.
And they give it to him on the zone read into the secondary, makes a nice cut and gets across midfield and into Buccaneer territory at the 49-yard line.
Tackle made by number 2, Ralph Rodriguez.
Soto rolls right, and it's incomplete, and we do have a late flag thrown by the back judge back at about the 45-yard line. We'll see what that's about.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 61 and 63. 5-yard penalty.
Okay, so the center and the right guard left a little early there. They were called for being downfield. And that walk-off is going to move the ball back to about the Eagle 46-yard line. So it's second and right at 10 yards. From the pistol, Soto, zone read. Once again, that's Jones. And we do have a flag on the play.
Turnover.
We have a turnover.
Yeah,
the ball's
2.
on the ground.
Yeah,
sorry.
number 2 came up with it.
Sorry, didn't see that. Ralph Rodriguez, who has been outstanding on defense for the Buccaneers tonight. You see the ball gets poked out, and Rodriguez is right there. It was kind of hard to see there for a second.
Yeah,
but Rodriguez comes away from the ball, and that big hit that caused the fumble was by senior linebacker Khalid Nichols, who is a very respected player.
All right, let's see if Miller can generate at least some more points in this game. Got to get something positive here to come out of this football game tonight.
Vasquez has gone all the way at quarterback, and this can't be a lot of fun at this point. Here's the snap, throws over the middle, intended for Franco. There is going to be a flag, and we're going to get an interference call on the Eagles' strong safety, Noah Murray.
Eagles, of course, are in their second year of varsity football. We weren't sure coming into this game, or this year, I should say, if they were. If they had completely grown up, and I think they've already proven, Paul, that they are here. They have arrived.
You know, one of the things that's really impressive about their program, Alan, because I enjoy watching high school practices, Coach Semper's practices are incredibly well organized. I mean, they know everything they're doing right down to the second. There is no wasted motion. First down from the 45, almost intercepted as there was a walked-off defender who could have taken that one to the house. It's incomplete, but the defender who was in a position to maybe make the play, let's see if I can get the number on him. That was Cedric Evans, who kind of came underneath that route, and had he made the play, he would have taken that one the distance. Three receivers to the near side, two to the far. Again, that's that little principle they've used about 4 times tonight. That's Cassius Clay on the reception for the Buccaneers. Clock running in the third quarter with under 20 seconds remaining. We'll see if they get a playoff. And apparently they'll just let this third quarter clock expire. So we've got 3 quarters in the books here at Buccaneer Stadium, and the Eagles have broken this one open. Our score after 3, Veterans Memorial 42, and the Miller Buccaneers 6. Back with quarter number 4 in just a moment. We thank you for watching Texas High School football from KRIS Communications. Welcome back to Buccaneer Stadium for quarter number 4. And this quarter brought to you by Mike Shaw Kia and Alan Harwell, the guru, the dean of Coastal Bend television sportscasters. What's with all these Thursday night games tonight?
It's been amazing. It's the first time ever that I can I've been doing sports for 40 years here in this area. I've never recalled 4 or 3 Thursday night games ever. And 2 is very unusual. We've had that twice already this year, but 3 never.
By the way, I'm not complaining.
No,
it's fine. All right, so Buccaneers with the football. And they're looking at a 3rd and short from the Eagle 46. They throw it right side. That's Franco on the reception, trying to get to the stakes. He's not going to get there. One thing, you see this program at Veterans Memorial maturing because look at the way their defenders fly to the ball. They got 4 people to the football.
And they have an army of them, too. Look at the sidelines. They just got kids everywhere. And you talked about how deep they are. I mean, they've just got they can bring in 2s and 3s and hang with the best of them.
4th down for the Buccaneers from the Eagle 48. Here's the snap. They'll give it off up the middle to Marcel Davis, and he struggles, keeps moving, lowers his pads, and gets the first down to about the Eagle 44-yard line. So the clock stops briefly as they set the chains. Now it's moving again with 11:14 remaining in the ball game. Zone read give once again, and once again, I think actually this time it's Michael Smith on the carry. I think he's back in the game here. I am mistaken. That was Marcel Davis once again. How dare I challenge our spotter, Rick Spruill? If he tells me that it's 22 or 20, then that's what it is, okay? Rick, I'll never do that again. I apologize. Running play one more time, and yes, okay. Thank you. That is Marcel Davis.
Okay, you were talking about Veterans Memorial. They get Bluff next week, then they get Carroll, Moody, and then Keene. That Keene game might be a fun game to watch.
I would think so. Ball on the ground here on third down. That's something that has really plagued these Buccaneers tonight. So what do you think about the program? Obviously, I know what I think about the program at King.
Yeah.
I love the program at King. What do you think about their prospects of getting things back on track now that they have their injured players healthy once again?
Oh, I think they're a top 3 team. I think they're a definite possibility of making the zone playoffs. I don't know about winning the district, but I think they're a definite number 2 or number 3 team in the zone to make those zone playoffs because they're so talented.
Coach Hasseltine at King, one of my faves. On first down, they'll just swing it out. Far side, right side, into the clear, and into the end zone goes Michael Smith. Nicely executed by the Miller Buccaneers as they hang 6 on the board. That was well executed and really a nice job of very determined running on the part of Michael Smith.
Yeah, let's take another look at it here. And Michael's got a lot of talent. He just hasn't had a lot of running lanes tonight, and this time he finds
Oh, they got away with a hold. Oh, they got away with a hold. Did you see the wide receiver? That was almost a takedown.
They'll still take it, I'm telling you. All right.
Going for 2, why wouldn't you? Here's the give inside to Michael Smith, and he is stopped shy of the goal line. So our score now with 10:08 remaining in the fourth quarter, Veterans Memorial 42 and the Miller Buccaneers 12. Back in a moment. We want to thank you again for watching Texas High School football from KRIS Communications.
Do a cheer, we're about to come out for you. Do a cheer, we're about to come out to you.
Ba-da-ba-ba. No, that's not the Tonight Show theme anymore. I'm showing my age. It's the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, okay? Oscar-nominated actor Harrison Ford discusses his role in the new film Blade Runner 2049, plus news and opinion show host Rachel Maddow and amazing kid golfers on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. That's tonight at 10:35 on KRIS 6. We're similar vintage.
Who's your favorite Tonight Show host?
Oh, it's not close. Johnny Carson.
Yeah, there you go. He was great, wasn't he?
My goodness, what an entertainer.
Didn't realize how good he was until after he stopped doing it.
Maybe the best interviewer ever.
Ever, yeah. When Don Rickles came on that show, that was always so hilarious.
I'm smiling just remembering some of those appearances. They were great.
Johnny would just sit there and let Don go.
Nobody could do the deadpan like Johnny Carson. Here's the kickoff, and on the return, okay, look, I'm going to admit it. I'm having a hard time understanding this. Okay, that's Frank Jones returning that kickoff in the fourth quarter of a 42-12 game. Boy. And by the way, I'm not worried about running it up or anything. I'm just worried about exposing him to injury. Yeah.
Well, let's see if Soto comes out again still.
that makes sense. You get what I'm saying?
He is. There he is, number 8.
I'm telling you, dog.
Flag on the play.
And that was a dead ball foul, by the way.
So many great quarterbacks in this district. You got Soto for Veterans Memorial. Of course, you got Alvarez there for Miller. You got Breckenridge at Ray. You've got Colton Duff at Cal Allen. I know you love the King quarterback. He's great. And
Mr. Flowers.
Mr. Flowers, there you go. It's just a quarterback-driven league this year, and it's been discovered if that quarterback goes down, your team really struggles.
And I'm not taking anything away from Vasquez here at Miller. He's been in a bad situation tonight several times, but he does, as we mentioned, have a very live arm. Life would be a lot easier for him if they could get a consistent running game, and I know that's easier said than done, and I'm not taking anything away from the Eagles' rush defense because they have been outstanding. All right, so the penalty moves the ball back to the 10-yard line. 10:03 remaining in the ball game here at Buccaneer Stadium.
It's gotten tighter over at Cabinets. Moody's up now 41-35 midway through the fourth quarter.
Good ball game.
A lot of highlights in that game.
Hey, speaking of that, I want to talk to you about Friday Night Fever here in just a second.
Okay, we've got some good games tomorrow night.
Yes, we do. As Alan mentioned, Soto's still in the ball game at quarterback for the Eagles. Kind of a misdirection zone play. Jones on the carry. This time he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And let me say this, Alan Harwell, the host and effectively executive producer of the best Friday night high school football highlights wrap-up show, not just in the Coastal Bend. How about in the Milky Way, man?
Well, I don't know. How much
Nicely
I got to pay
done.
you for that? Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. We have a lot of good people that work with us. A lot of great photographers, a lot of great reporters, a lot of great, just a great team. It's a big team. We have a lot of people.
We do have some depth on that team. A little bubble screen coming near side to Josh Gomez. And he's going to be out close to first down yardage, out at about the 23-yard line.
If you're wondering, this was our marquee matchup for this week, but if you're looking for our Friday night game of the week, we're going to be over at Cabinets tomorrow. King plays Gregory Portland, and both teams have shown flashes this year.
GP coming on.
Yeah, they are, and they came on strong towards the end of last year and made the zone playoffs under Coach Rick Rhodes.
Have I told you that I'm still bitter about the fact that the GP Wildcats ended my high school football career?
You've talked about that in the office a few times, but I don't think you've mentioned it on the air.
Yep, beat us in the quarterfinals, 1971, us being the Lockhart Lions.
Ray Akins, right?
Ray Akins was the coach, and Marty Akins, who went on to become an All-America quarterback at Texas, was their quarterback. But he didn't hurt us much that night. They had a fullback named Alan Calicote who just had us for lunch. And he had a 74-yard touchdown run, and I had the distinction of missing him twice on that run.
You didn't hear from your coaches, did you?
They still call periodically, and they should.
Yeah, but it's cool that you got to play in the playoffs. That had to be a great,
That's what's great about Texas high school football. And by the way, I got to say this was back in the day where you either won your district or you sat down.
That's right. I loved it back
then. 9:13 remaining in the ball game. Clock running. Again, zone running play. This time it is Aaron Lugo. And let me tell you something. How good is Frank Jones? Frank Jones is so good that he can keep Aaron Lugo on the bench. Let me tell you something. Aaron Lugo is really good.
He's certainly, that's what we're talking about. They're so deep, this team.
This time they fake the run, and they swing it out to the right side to Josh Gomez. And he's got the first down out at about the 36-yard line. Clock will stop briefly while they move the chains.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who's got the advantage going into next Thursday's game between the Bluff and Vets?
Oh, man. Oh, man, let me just say this. I don't mean this as a cop-out. I just want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, or at least I think I do. Flower Bluff plays tomorrow night. Well, actually, Flower Bluff playing tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is I need to see the tape
research
of that game and research this and kind of compare this. But I'll tell you this, anybody that's going to beat Veterans Memorial better be pretty good, because this has been quite an impressive display tonight.
The Bluff may have the biggest offensive line in the district. They've got a pretty good quarterback. Yeah,
but a smaller guy at quarterback than they've had in recent years, right?
Yeah, but he can run like the Dickens. I mean, he's very quick. So what I'm saying is you're going to have a good time researching next Thursday night's game. Is that?
Yeah, I always do. That's for sure. Oh, no. This is the last thing in the world you want to see. This is a blowout ball game. There's 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And yes, that does appear to be
number 9.
Well, you know what? I know people got mamas and daddies and families, so let me just remain silent until we get a positive ID on this player. But, as you can see, that is the quarterback, David Soto, who appeared to get his foot caught up under him. Players on both teams take a knee right now. He is such a good young man, not to mention a wonderful quarterback. This is an opportunity for us to take a break. We're thinking good thoughts for Mr. Soto. 8 minutes remaining in the game. Back in a moment. You're watching Texas High School football coming to you from KRIS Communications. A heart in their throat sight for Eagle fans as their star quarterback David Soto is led off the field following a leg injury. There was also a turnover on the play, so the Buccaneers have the ball. We'll show you what happened on that play. And look, we go back to live action here for this first down play for the Buccaneers. But as we go back to the replay, Alan, it's pretty apparent that Soto got his leg caught up underneath him. And this is a little bit of an alarming sight.
Yeah, this is the best angle that we have of it right here from our end zone cam. It's kind of a freak tackle there. Let's take another look at it from the other side, and it's just going to kind of get tangled up there on the turf and then gets dragged down.
New quarterback in the ball game for the Buccaneers, and he can fling it. There's a flag on the play, possible interference. The new quarterback is Andrew Body. And he is a freshman, and, we were talking with Coach Evans at practice, and he said, man, this dude's going to be something. And we saw his arm strength and the tight ball that he throws demonstrated there.
He just slung it down there, and Soto was in a lot of pain. I'm looking at him, got the binoculars on him down there.
There's an interference call there, and it was against the intended receiver, Bubba Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd, I think he re-injured his leg a little bit.
Exactly. He was dinged a little bit early in the game, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, boy. Lloyd now hopping on one foot, can't put any weight at all, it appears, on his right leg.
Oh, what a physical game this has been tonight. This is, we've had a lot of guys get hurt.
Well, and how would you love to obviously not lose your quarterback in the fourth quarter, and how would you like to be the Miller Buccaneers and now see Bubba Lloyd hobbling like that? Running play down close to the 20-yard line. That is Xavier Hernandez on the carry for the Buccaneers as we reach the 7-minute mark remaining here in this final period.
He's a big boy there, number 20 for Miller.
Body throws deep into the end zone. That was a pretty good effort by Riley Hearn there. The ball came out. Good defense on the part of the Eagles secondary. But, you know, once again, we're seeing that arm strength there. This young man's only a freshman.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, no kidding. Watch this. Came out of there like a rocket, throws a very tight ball, and Hearn was almost able to come back and make the reception. Third down, zone read running play. And once again, that's Xavier Hernandez on the carry for the Buccaneers. Clock running with 6:33 left. They do have an isolation to Hearn down here to the near side. He's 84. Let's see if Body sees it. Going to run the option play, kind of a keep, and it's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage on the left side, back at the 24-yard line. Excellent pursuit by that Eagle defense. And that being a fourth down play, that's going to be yet another turnover on downs. Once again, we want to thank Auto Nation for sponsoring tonight's game. Gentlemen and ladies, that is very much appreciated. So, Alan, what all we got going tomorrow night on Friday Night Fever?
Well, we have, we got the 6 5A schools playing tonight, so we only have 4 5A schools playing tomorrow. Ray is off this week, so Carroll is going to play Cal Allen at Buck Stadium. Carroll is going to have their, they're winless. Let's put it that way. They're struggling, and they're going to have a tough chore against a Cal Allen team that might, some say, is better than last year's team that made it all the way to the championship game. And then, of course, we got King taking on GP over at Cavanis Field. So we'll have highlights of both of those games.
Man, I know that this year's Cal Allen team is very, very respected. I mean, you know, they only had one regular season loss last year, and that was against San Antonio Johnston, if I'm not mistaken.
They went up there and took
they
care of them.
went there and beat them early in the season. So
Really,
that's most impressive. It's hard for me to believe that their defense, meaning Cal Allen's, could be any better than it was a year ago.
And
that was one of the best I've seen.
And they lost a couple of really good players to graduation. But there's always seemed to be some guy that comes up every year. You know, man up every year, somebody.
New quarterback in the game for the Eagles is Joseph Gonzalez. He's a sophomore, now playing in place of the injured David Soto. If we get any information on his condition, of course, we'll let you know. Running play, but there is a flag in the area where you might think it's holding.
There's a really good rivalry game tomorrow night. Banquetti and Bishop. Bishop is 4-0. They're at home against Banquetti that's 2-2. That's always a knockdown, drag-out fight. And they'll play tomorrow night, and we'll have game coverage of that game as well.
You got quite the team there on Friday night.
We really do. I have to do a checklist every Friday. Okay, who all do I have? Because I've got so many. Who all suiting up tonight? And really do.
They love it. They know their stuff.
They do.
And we actually have a couple more clamoring for a roster spot on Friday Night Fever, and they're pretty good.
It's hard to find airtime for everybody, but we try the best that we can. Of course, Roland Rodriguez and Chelsea Torres and Nikila Pradier. And, you know, you're right. And we got a couple that are sitting on the benches waiting to run in at any moment. And we got some great photographers who get out and shoot awesome video.
There is nothing like Texas high school football.
Love the set that we build every Friday night. We'll be taking that over to Cavanis tomorrow night.
Here's a rare punt on the part of the Eagles. Solis gets that one away, gets a friendly bounce and roll that's going to go down to the 41-yard line. Let's throw it down to the field. And this update from our friend Nikila Pradier.
Thanks, Paul. We saw Eagles quarterback David Soto be helped off the field. Well, we see him icing down right now the right knee. We don't know the extent of his injury, but we do know that his knee was hurt. We're assuming that he's done for the night, and if we get an update on his status, we'll let you know. Also, on the Miller sideline, wide receiver Bubba Lloyd looks like he tweaked that ankle again after their last possession. He could barely put weight on that ankle, and they were working to tape it up again and take a look at his ankle. So 2 big injuries to 2 of the biggest players in this district, Alan and Paul.
Kilo, thank you. You saw Soto there on the sideline, so a costly night apparently for both teams, and we're thinking nothing but good thoughts for both of those very good young men. 4:43 remaining in the ball game right now in what has become a blowout, frankly. The Eagles leading this one 42-12 over the previously undefeated Miller Buccaneers. Running play coming near side, Marcel Davis. That one gets strung out by the Eagle defense, and they bring him down at about the 49-yard line in Veterans Memorial territory. Body, the quarterback for the Buccaneers, and we've got a timeout. Okay, they just wanted to get everything set. Now they rewind the clock. It's moving with 4:17 remaining. Trips to the far side, single receiver to the near side. Running play coming off left tackle for minimal yardage, maybe a gain of about a foot as we move inside the 4-minute mark here in the final period.
Nah, you're good.
Veterans Memorial Band and Pep Squad having a good time here on the near side. Ball thrown over the middle, thrown behind the intended receiver. And that was Joseph Garcia, but he never had a chance at that one. That ball thrown well behind him.
Yeah, you can tell they just don't get enough reps in practice. You can just kind of tell they're a little rusty when they come in here, but I think this kid's got a lot of potential.
He passes the eye test, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Looks good. Single coverage at the bottom of your screen. Let's see where they go. Body floats right, looking for receiver. There is a flag. It's going to be a hold. Ball thrown downfield, and the catch is made. It's a legal catch, but now we'll check the flag, which is back at the 42-yard line. Let's see what that's all about. That was Las Franco on the reception. But as the quarterback broke the pocket and rolled to the far side, there appeared to be a hold. We thank you for joining us tonight. We feel so passionately about high school sports and high school football and everything it brings to the community, and really proud to work for a company in KRIS Communications that is dedicated to doing things like this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Blitz coming. Buccaneers pick it up, but the pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. Clock stops, 3:27 left.
Paul, the Flower Bluff game has gone final. They win tonight over Alice 49-21, which again sets up the big showdown next Thursday night at Cavanis Field.
Okay, so Flower Bluff now 4-0, and Alice was 3-0 going into this game. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Punt, and that has not been a pretty sight for the Buccaneers tonight. This is going to roll back to about the 30-yard line. Well, just kind of a rough night in the kicking game for sure. We'll keep it right here with 3:15 remaining in the ball game. So, Alan, what's the biggest change that you've seen stylistically in Corpus Christi and Coastal Bend high school football over the last couple of years?
Well, I just think the fact that everybody has pretty much gone to the no-huddle offense, and it's all about the passing game now. It's all about trying to get, every coach says, they want to get 90 to 100 plays in per game. That's something that's unheard of. You never heard anybody talk that way 4 or 5 years ago, but now it's, snap it every 15, 20 seconds if they can.
I know that some teams have tried to counter program like that, like what Carroll tried to do last year when they were running the ball out of the wing tee. Veterans Memorial running play, far side. That's Kobe Piper on the carry. And he gets down around the 15-yard line. Clock stops momentarily while they move the chains with 3:06 remaining.
Now, I do like the new style offense. It certainly makes the game, I think, a lot more exciting to watch if you're a guy that likes a lot of points scored. Now, if you're a defensive-minded guy, it sure sets up a lot of new challenges for a defensive coordinator with the way the game's played now.
Yeah, and speed has always been important, but speed is more important now than ever before. So Veterans Memorial looks to the near side to get the play. Snap is fumbled, is rolling around, is going to be a turnover as the Buccaneers come up with the football. We'll try to set the number and name of the guy that came up with it. I think that's Riley Hearn there.
Yeah, let's take another look at it.
Let's take a look.
We got the instant replay
Ball's
here.
been on the ground an awful lot tonight. Okay, there's the recovery. Coming off its most watched season in 23 years and 9 Emmy Awards, Saturday Night Live is back for its 43rd season. Don't miss the best in satire and sketch comedy with guest host Ryan Gosling and musical guest Jay-Z, Saturday at 10:30 on KRIS 6. Body throws it right side, complete. Cassius Clay. It's his 5th reception of the night. This one gets out past the 30-yard line. They're going to mark it at about the 34. 2:23 remaining. Blitz coming. Body sees it, throws deep, right side. Got a man, can't make the connection.
Ball was there.
It was. There was a chance at that ball, but Cassius Clay couldn't quite come up with it.
The receiver, Cassius Clay.
Kind of boxed the football there a little bit.
Yeah,
right.
Well, for people our age, we get that one. The younger generation have no clue, but yeah, it was there.
It was. Difficult catch, though. I'm not saying it wasn't. Running play coming near side. Marcel Davis.
Marcel Davis on the carry.
Gets across the 35 to the 37. Clock running now with 2 minutes remaining in the game. Veterans Memorial going to get to 5-0. And the Miller Buccaneers will fall to 3-1. Motion. They'll swing it that direction, and we got a whistle. This play never happened. Procedure penalty. This field here, really in great shape, this artificial turf surface.
Yeah,
we had a lot of rain both this morning and this afternoon, and it's been a complete non-factor.
Looking ahead to Miller now, they're going to get Gregory Portland next. Then they got to go to Alice. Then they host Tolosa Midway. Then they got to play Ray. And they'll end their season against Cal Allen. Regular season. Anyway.
Regular season. Yeah, there you go.
Nice
Pass
catch.
play, and boy, that was a tough catch. As Cassius Clay goes up and snags that one and takes a big old pop in the back. But that was almost professionally done right there. That was a very impressive snag. Clock stops with 1:19. Now they reset after they move the chains. Running play right up the middle. Gain of 5. As Davis once again. Hope you've enjoyed this first telecast of the year from KRIS Communications. This one tonight coming to you on the CW. Want to remind you again, we've had so much fun tonight. Think about a week from tonight at Cabinets. Flower Bluff undefeated against Veterans Memorial undefeated, and that one is, Alan, a zone game.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, you can't afford to lose your first home game. Somebody is, but it's going to be a big one. And we're expecting a really big crowd over there. We hope to see you there.
I think I've made plans for next Thursday night.
You're going to, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how their quarterback fares. Let's see if he can play next week. That's going to be the key, I think. If Soto.
Oh, boy. He just stared that one down. That's a pick six. That one is going to the house. That is 6 points. My goodness.
19, Adam Ibarra, and an Eagle touchdown.
Number 19 picks
Adam
it off.
Ibarra on the pick six, and there was never a doubt. He saw that route, he jumped it, and he knew exactly what to do with it.
There's a penalty marker down on the play.
Adam Ibarra, a junior, he splits time at quarterback with John Longoria. But Ibarra, a very, very talented and obviously savvy player. That was a nice play.
Well, they've been averaging 53. They may not get there tonight, but
well, but here's the thing.
I was about to say, I don't know if you want to. I don't know, like, do they allow us on the field?
All right, so let's find out exactly what this penalty is about. Yeah, if it's a personal foul, Alan, it would be enforced on the kickoff.
Yes, that is correct. Got their extra point guy in.
Yeah, trying to remain perfect on the season.
Personal foul is on Miller, number 74. The penalty will be enforced the kickoff. Number 75.
So Romario Perez on for the PAT. He has not missed an extra point. He has not missed a field goal this year. And we're 5 games deep. Gets good height and extension on that one, and he is still flawless. We'll keep it right here with 31 seconds remaining in the game as the Eagles extend their lead now to 49-12.
Well, I guess there's really no advantage to playing on Thursday, or disadvantage to playing Thursday night, because you got both Flower Bluff and Betts playing. So they'll have the equal number of days to prepare for next Thursday night, and so there's really no advantage or disadvantage there. So neither team will have any insight on that part, but it'll be an interesting week for these two teams. Both coaches can get out and go scout tomorrow night. Both Steinbrook and Semper can go.
Yeah, been talking about how much we love coaches in this district, including, of course, the two that are involved here tonight, Justin Evans and Cody Semper. But I always enjoy visiting with Coach Steinbrook at Flower Bluff.
Yeah,
he's got a good program, good guy.
Nice thing about David Soto, he is finally now getting to walk around a little bit.
Yeah, but there's a man standing next to him with a crutch.
Yeah, he does. But at least Soto's able to put a little power on that left leg, or right leg, right. Looks like I can't tell if it's the upper ankle or the knee.
You know what? I can't either, and I really don't want to speculate because the way he got that leg caught, it could be either joint or maybe even both.
Yeah. Sure, he'll probably get an MRI tomorrow or the next day, figure out what's going on.
You know, you and I together first saw him play last year in a telecast we did in a game. Let's see. That game was against King.
Against King.
Right? And it was a high-scoring game, and it was a lot of fun.
It really was.
And we knew at the time that Soto was just such a versatile player. He could do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he could. And he's got another year to go.
So the personal foul enforced on the kickoff, making this a short field and making this kickoff a touchback. So no time taken off the clock. All right, so what's the takeaway here for the Miller Buccaneers? What does Coach Evans tell his team?
They kind of got a taste of humble pie tonight, I think, a little bit. They know now when they go up against a really good team what they've got to do to get better, to improve. And again, it's a young team. A lot of their key players are either sophomores or freshmen. So I think that's the fact that you know, we played a better team tonight. Here's what we got to do to get better. And I'm sure they'll come out next week and play well. And for Coach Evans, who we're looking at right there, he's, you know, he's moved around a lot. Third team in 3 years. King, Alice, now Miller, but says he wants to make Miller his home for a long time.
He is not hurting for enthusiasm.
No.
That guy is into it. So that could be the final play of the ball game. Clock running now with 23 seconds left. So the Eagles going to come away with a resounding and very impressive 49-12 victory. Buccaneers at the line of scrimmage right now. As you take a look at David Soto and you see the assistance he's receiving on the sideline, this will in fact be the last play of the ball game. 2-1, and the clock hits all zeros. Our final score here at Buccaneer Stadium, Veterans Memorial 49 and the Miller Buccaneers 12. Back to wrap it up in just a moment. We thank you for watching Texas High School football, coming to you from KRIS Communications. Welcome back to Buccaneer Stadium as the Veterans Memorial Eagles run their record to 5-0 with what ended up being a pretty lopsided victory over the Miller Buccaneers. We've got some unofficial final stats for you. Looks like Memorial ends up with about 363 total O, which actually is well under their season average going in, which was right at 500. Miller with 202 total yards, but the real story there, they ran the ball for only 30 yards.
Yeah, that was the key right there.
And would you believe a total of 13 turnovers in this game? 7 of them committed by the winning team.
Wow. All right, how do we get to this final score tonight? Let's run down the highlights for you and get you updated on how this game began. And on the opening drive, it was Veterans. They drove it down the field. Frank Jones, 7-yard touchdown run. They missed a 2-point conversion. They would take a 6-0 lead. Miller on their opening drive, Josh Vasquez, long pass to Bubba Lloyd. And the PAT was blocked, so we were deadlocked 6-6. Looked like we were going to have a really good ball game at this point. Then Veterans Memorial comes right back. Frank Jones, long run here. That's 54 yards, and they got the extra point. They would take a 13-6 lead, and it was a lead they would not relinquish. And then Jones scores again, 3 yards up the middle. It was 20-6 at halftime, and they were in absolute control here. And then Soto, 25-yard keeper right here. This made it 27-6 at this point in the game. And then it would be Soto with a 25-yard TD pass to Seth Solis to make it 34-6. Nice catch there by Solis. And they were in command at this point. And then Soto again, 15-yard pass to Solis again. This made it 42-6. And then the injury here late in the ball game to Soto. Not sure again. Don't want to speculate, but could be a knee, could be an ankle, not sure. But you can see him kind of describing it there to the trainer. But that's where we are now. It's a final score, 49-12. All Vets tonight, they remain undefeated at 5-0.
School song being played. There you see David Soto standing with his crutches right now, and we wish him all the best. That's a big win tonight for Coach Cody Semper and his Eagles, but potentially costly. And on the other side, we'll be monitoring the situation with the fine receiver for the Miller Buccaneers, Bubba Lloyd, who hobbled off the field late in the game. So in only their second year of varsity football, Alan, these Eagles are for real.
They really are. They have arrived. They're here to play with the big boys, and they're here to make a statement, and they're going to be tough to beat down the road.
Alan, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to work with you. Anything having to do with high school football here in the Coastal Bend is an absolute act of joy. We thank you for joining us here tonight. Once again, our final score as the Veterans Memorial Eagles triumph over the Miller Buccaneers by a score of 49-12. Want to remind you, a week from tonight, that's a big one, undefeated versus undefeated. Veterans Memorial against Flower Bluff, and that is a zone game that's coming to you at 7 o'clock a week for tonight. So, for Keith Schmitz, our statistician, for Rick Spruill, our spotter, for my good friend and a guy I greatly admire, Alan Harwell, and everybody, including Nikhila Pradier on our fine KRIS 6 sports team, I want to thank you again for joining us. We'll see you soon. So, good night from Buck Stadium.